And good evening, everyone. I'm Blaine Singletary, and this is the ARML Friday Night. I'm Blaine Singletary, of course, and joining me is Nathaniel Krasinski.
Nice
Tell
to
me I
be
got
here.
that right. Yes.
Krasinski, that's right.
All right. Yeah, great to have you with me today. We've got an all-star matchup for you tonight here in the A1 division of the ARML. It's featuring four of the top scorers in the league from the beta season. Definitely some insane stats to dig into in the minutes here before the match begins, and just a few here. Um, we've already seen some great action though in the league thus far. Nathaniel, you were on the table for a couple nights ago. Pretty explosive game there. Just Mongons and above flying everywhere. Is that something you're going to think? Is that something you think we're going to see tonight as we see these four go head to head to head to head?
Well, absolutely. I think Oliver, Lucas, Arthur, and Jeremy, four of the top uh, players that came out of the Beta League last year, easily made their way into Pool A with a good mixture of aggressive play, building high value hands, and some good defense as well. When we dive into the stats in it a little bit, we'll take a look at the difference in the reach percentages and deal in percentages for the four players, but I can tell you that there's going to be a lot of consideration to building the most valuable hand possible, and I know I expect to see plenty of Magon Plus in this hand.
Absolutely. I mean, just looking at those stats, as you were saying, these are probably some of the most winningest players of the last season as well. I mean, Arthur himself, Arthur McNally, he's got 11 wins himself. 45% of the matches he played resulted in him taking first. That is insane. Oliver Nguyen, not too bad himself. 8 wins out of his Hanchams there. Lucas Lapointe, 7, still nothing to sneeze at, and Jeremy Fu taking home 8 as well. Um, and you've seen these four, or at least some of these, play, and you can see just from the stats, there are some different play styles going head to head here.
Absolutely. So Arthur tends to play a very aggressive style, building hands with max value and pushing quite aggressively, even in the face of danger, feeling that his average win will outlast any deal-ins that he may incur. And it shows in the Beta League, he had an average 6,599 points per win and
Wow.
only 3,534 per loss. So with a win percentage of 23.5, he definitely was doing quite well. If you're winning 23.5% of your hands with an average of 6,000, definitely scoring highly. And Lucas, on the other hand,
I
had
was
a
about to
very
say,
had a very similar style, but suffered fewer defeats in his matches. In fact, in the Beta League, he ended up losing or finishing fourth 0 times.
I know, that is insane.
Unbelievable to think that in 5 weeks of 4 Hanjans per week, there were no 4th place finishes. That's crazy, and
Hmm.
Both Lucas and Arthur did play in the, championship match for the Beta League, although
Which
neither of them have managed to win it. They both, played quite strong mahjong and made it tough for the rest of the competitors.
absolutely. I mean, you just look at the pool scores. All four pools from last season. I mean, Lucas, I think Lucas has the top score. If we were to just put everyone side by side, he finished with 300.5. Sorry, 305.4. Again, no losses there. Arthur finished at the top of his pool too with 238.7. Oliver just below him, 232.3. Um, just about a 5 point difference there. That is crazy.
Yeah. In
So we
Arthur's
definitely got. So go on.
Yeah, in Arthur's pool, there was quite a battle for who would finish at the top, and Arthur just barely pulled it out in the end ahead of Oliver and another player who viewers might recognize, Max Sudendorf or Light Pink Yoshi, and it was quite a battle there. Lucas, of course, being the one to top everyone off, his massive finish of 300 points over the season was untouchable. And Jeremy not too far behind with with a respectable, 150 plus his pool in the beta league. However, Oliver had just sorry, Lucas had just about double that.
And we are underway now. East 1 has begun. The Dora is the 6 so. Um,
Now
and
looking
here
at
we
these
go.
hands, Oliver is our first dealer. Anko of Westwind to start. Outside of that, no Dora, no value outside of potential reach here. To the right, though, look at Arthur's hand. An Anko of Eastwind already, and
Hmm.
lots of Sozu tiles. That is the Dora suit, so we might see Arthur push towards a Honitsu if the right tiles come in.
I was about to
Across,
say that. I mean, he doesn't
Chi.
have too much to drop there to pick that up. Oh, I think he is going for it.
yeah, we
There's
see that
the
quick chi.
yeah, picking up a chi very early on. Um,
Across the table, we have a pair of Haku and nice shapes. Look at that Soju shape. Can accept the
wow,
369. Good shape in the Manzu as well. So this could be a fast reach from Jeremy. And to the left, we've got good shapes in the Pinzu, looking like a more traditional Pinfu type hand that could incorporate the Dora 6 so.
absolutely.
Boom.
Nice dropping that, and it's picked up. We have the White Dragons called there across the table from
Yeah,
Jeremy.
Jeremy decides maybe with that early call from Arthur, I don't want to mess around. There's a chance for Honitsu no Sozu as well, but you don't really want to drop that 5-6 mon shape, especially when you've got a reasonable score with Haku Dora 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, and he's given a he's looked like he's going to hang on to that and try to see what he can do with it. Just try to finish this hand quickly to avoid probably a bombing from Arthur here coming up.
Well, look, this is a nice pickup, picking up another Dora here and
Boom.
sort of shifting the hand around. We're Tempai now, waiting on the 4 and 7 mon for Haku Dora 2. Had to discard that 7 so, and that was immediately called by Arthur, who is Ishan 10 now for Honitsu with the East as well. East
Mhm.
Yakuhai.
It's hanging on to
Unfortunately,
that south.
yeah, there's a chance to pair up either the South or the 9 so to make Tempai. You do need a pair in this hand, and you don't really want to have to discard the East Wind to make a pair. So hanging on to as many of those Honitsu tiles as possible. And this
Chi.
was, uh-oh,
Oh, we have a little bit of a disconnect here, sadly. Oh, and it picks that right up. That's just what he needed. You hate to
wow,
see it.
got
That is
trouble
the
for,
nature of online mahjong.
fortunately pops back in. I'm certain he never would have discarded that 3 so otherwise. And now looking at the scary Honitsu hand, are not, you definitely will not discard any of those dangerous honor tiles or
Hmm.
Sozu.
At least it's early on in the game. There's still plenty of time to correct any kind of mistake like that.
Oh,
Ooh,
Arthur draws the 4 so
No.
that, or 4 mon
and
deals into
oh,
Jeremy.
Yakuhai Haku with 2 Dora to start things off. The plan to disarm that bomb worked out just fine for Jeremy there.
Yeah, we see Jeremy has a fairly high reachy rate, 20%, only 31% call rate, but good decision to call there and quicken the hand.
Absolutely. Well, taking a look at what we've got here, there's some activity building up here in the dealer's hand. We got that 3 4 5 in the Pinzu. Oh, now that could be kind of an overlap there. 3 4 5 4 5 6. If he picks up something else there. Um,
Yeah, quite good shapes in the Pinzu there, and even 4 pairs could make Toy Toy or Chitoy or Tanya. On the right, looks like some great Sozu shapes for Jeremy, and a nice Yonkan in the Pinzu, 4 6 8. Perhaps going to build a Ricci hand there. Across the
mhm.
table, beautiful 5 discards in, and we've got a couple tiles away from Tempai, including a door pair. Look at that pair of Wests in hand. So could
That's
be
right.
really valuable for
But
Lucas.
that's also what we've got going on the left, hanging on to 2 Wests. Um, that's always interesting to see because you don't know who might drop it first, and obviously they don't know that they might complete the other person's meld there. But
That's right.
it's interesting to see how long they'll hang on. Or I mean, they could use it as their pair and have 2 Dora going into whatever else they can achieve.
Yeah, across the table, Oliver is um, the West wins, so he can call that for value. I can't imagine we'll see the West coming out, though. I sure imagine that he's hoping to see that. And it's Ishan 10 now, one tile away from Tempai.
Wow. It's coming together beautifully for Korak here.
Let's see. On the left, uh,
Figuring
Lucas
out what to.
is, yeah, this is, you got that door pair. You're probably
Mhm.
trying to make some sort of PFU hand. You just want to get reach with that value. You can't open really for Tanya with that pair in hand. So
Mhm.
just trying to make the
Moving
most
on.
efficient shapes possible and is 2 tiles away from Tempai there.
It's certainly what he's doing there. You know, looking, he's got just um really an open weight that could go either way there with that 4, 6, and 8 Manzu.
Keeps seeing tiles he wants to call, but is unable to for value. And well, Korak has found its way to Ishan 10, one tile away from Tempai now. Would
Mm-hmm.
ideally draw
Gee,
the 6
There's a call.
mon.
Now
Well,
10
this is
pie on that
Tempai.
6 and 7 pair.
Yeah, that's the tile that Korak needs to draw. So this is gonna be interesting. Oh, Tempai. Will he take the
10
reach?
pie here.
Each.
Of
He's going
course,
for
it's
it.
Arthur. Arthur is known, if it's one thing he's known for, it's declaring reach whenever possible. It's a 2/5
Wow.
mon wait for Ricci Pingfu.
It goes with that aggressive play style you were telling us about in the pregame, for sure. So yes, now he's waiting on the 2 and
That's
he
the
can also be
5,
waiting on
yeah.
the 5, 2 or the 5. Yeah.
It looks like 2 of the 5s have been discarded, 1 in
Hmm.
hand for Oliver as well. So only 1 5 left in the wall and no 2s left in the wall.
Hmm.
1 in the left in the wall to draw. And for
The
Jeremy's
Manzus
hand,
are definitely getting dangerous.
yes, for sure. We see 1 7 left in the wall for Jeremy as well. It's a one
Mhm.
versus one as far as the weight is concerned.
And only 10 tiles to go.
Where is the last 7?
They could all be in the dead wall,
And
or it could be.
unfortunately for Oliver, across the way, hasn't been able to find Tempai, has been sitting Ishanten for so long, but can't find the 1 pin or the 4 pin or the 4 7. Well, we know why he can't see the 4 7. That's being taken up by the other players at the table.
Hmm.
Interesting decision here for Lucas. Decides calling here is just bad, so passes it on.
Yeah, they're trying to keep it concealed so they can use those double Dora in some way.
Well, Jeremy thinks that Foreman is too dangerous, and he's right. It is in the suit that Arthur is waiting for.
Hmm.
Breaks Tempai, and it looks like Oliver is too far away now as well. So it's really a question of can Arthur Tsumo? He has one more chance to do so after Lucas's discard.
He's thinking long and hard about that. Do you drop the 9 or you drop that 7? So, sorry, 7 pin. Dropping the 3.
Safety first, and
Yeah, he's
has the
backing off a little
opportunity to
bit as
call
well.
this as well, but it's too late, right? No need to give the
Right.
dealer who's going to reach another chance to draw a tile.
Absolutely.
So it looks like we're heading to Yukioku. Another chance to call that, but
Hmm.
passes it
I'll leave
on.
it be.
Tempai found 7 pin discarded.
Oh, comes in right at the end to pick up 1,500 points.
Well, that's not too bad. And Korak, who had initially dealt into 3,900 at the beginning, making up a little bit of ground now.
Absolutely. So he will stay. Arthur will remain dealer as we continue here in just a moment.
Yep. Every now and then, Tenho decides to freeze, and so if it doesn't
Just to
pop
catch
up
us
in
up a
a,
little bit. Yeah.
yeah, there we go.
There we go.
And well, it looks like it might have been caused by uh, Lucas on the right freezing momentarily. Well, as
And
for our hands at the
looks
table,
like, yes. He
it's
is
a
coming
little
back. He is back. So
it's a
no
little hard to
unwanted drops this time.
it's a little hard to see, but the Dora indicator is the Haku, which means
Oh,
that the
that's
Dora
right.
tile is the green dragon, and Oric has a single of those, as well as 5
Arthur.
pairs right
Oh,
from the
wow. Oh,
start.
that's
So
right. Yeah.
we could see. I'm quite certain that he is thinking Cheetoy waiting on that Dora pair. Cheetoy Dora 2 would be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
On the right, we also see pairs one, two, three, four, five, and a Dora tile as well. It's as if Jeremy and Quark have the exact same hand.
That's gonna be
Across,
interesting.
yeah, who's
And
going to
it's
draw that? That there's two Dora dragons left in the wall, and who will get that first is a major question here. Across the
mhm,
table, Oliver looking to make a traditional Pinfu type hand. We only see two pairs compared to the other two. And on the left, we have a pair of the Chun, as well as a nice Yankan Namanzu, and a completed sequence in the Sozu. So this could be very fast, especially picking up that 3 pin to complete another sequence.
absolutely. But yeah, as you said, it's all gonna come down to who gets this green dragon Dora first. Um, thinking about he's was thinking about that. I wonder if he's wondering if maybe it's a good time to just let it go now before that green gets too dangerous later on.
Yeah, for the players who have 5 pairs, I imagine they're just going to hang on to that for the rest of the game. This is kind of interesting for Korak. Had the option to keep that 2 pin in hand and build an Anko based hand, maybe build towards Toy Toy or even Suanko, but decides to play as efficiently as possible for Chitoy. Instead of losing a tile of efficiency, better to hold 3 tiles to potentially pair up rather than
Hmm.
2, which I
He's
think is a good,
committed to that. Yes.
yeah, a good decision given the current Ishanten status.
Hmm.
Did you
But
notice on the
that
left?
across. On the left. Oh, too. Yes, that's getting very close too.
Picked up that
But
Chun Anko,
yes.
just a pair away from Tempai, with even thoughts at maybe making a Sanshoku. It's a little
1
bit far given the 1-3-5 shape, but it is a
Hmm.
possibility. And while we see
There's the
Oliver calling,
seven.
yeah,
Yeah,
what is this hand going to be? Junchan.
could be. Could be.
You'll notice that every set in the hand contains a terminal tile and
Hmm.
can call either the 1 pin, the 1 so, or the 2 so, or the 9 so, all of which are tiles that should come out relatively easily from the other player's hands. So a really good chance for Oliver to find Tempai
本
here. And there's the 1
Calls the
so,
phone. Oh, that puts him in tenpai. Looking for
waiting
the
on,
one pin or the nine so.
well, looking at the table on the right, 3 of those winning tiles are in Jeremy's hand.
And one of them is a single, so
There's a
it's
chance we
it's
see
on
that
his
come
drop
out.
list.
The ideal situation for Jeremy is to pair that up, discard the white dragon, waiting for the
1
Dora. Oh,
Mm. Ricci called,
and it's Lucas
waiting on the
finding
five
Tenpai
or the
first.
two.
Look at how he's constructed this hand. He can win on the 2, which would make Sanshoku. So right now we have Richi,
Hmm.
Chun, and potential Sanshoku.
That's an explosive hand. I mean, any of these could be potentially explosive.
Yeah, it looks like
And we
they're,
haven't even seen the green dragon come out yet. Oh, there
well,
it is. Speak of the
just as you
devil.
say. And
That's how it always works in
相撲
broadcast. Oh, and there's the two, and there's the Sanshoku.
and that was the best way pickup. And we see Ura? No, so just
No luck
Mangan.
on the auras, but doesn't need it. Walking out with a Mangan and that and taking the lead.
Yeah, significant at this table. 37,000 points now.
Going into East 3. Oh, and look at that. The dealer's got 3 Dora right off the bat
Wow,
for
and
that
Anko to
one
start with is
Manzu.
beautiful.
It's incredible.
2 tiles away from Tempai as well. Some awkward shape in the
Mm,
Pinsu, but I would be totally happy with this start. And
absolutely.
what
This
do you
is
think
the
about
hand
the
you
hand?
dream of.
What do you think about the hand on the right?
Over on the right, definitely some strong Pinzu shapes over there. I mean, you do have a little bit happening with the Sozu. Um,
Yeah,
could be looking at that. Hmm, I think
there,
he's coming
there's
up on
options.
possibly a possible flush of some
Yeah,
sort.
it definitely looks like a hand that can make flush. He's holding on to a 1-2-3 in Pinsu and a 1-2 in Sozu, so there's maybe a backdoor chance at a 1-2-3 Sanshoku. But
This is
really,
true.
the value is in that full flush hand.
Mm-hmm.
And across the table, there's one Dora, but we know that's not going to get paired up. And some awkward shapes elsewhere, so this hand needs a little bit of work.
Hmm.
On the left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sequence in Manzu and a pair. We're already Shanten. Just needs to complete one of
Wow.
those Sosu shapes.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the value isn't there outside of potentially going Reach and Tanya.
Hmm. Man, the speed at which these hands are coming together is just incredible.
A testament not only to the initial draws, but also the skill of the players in selecting the correct
Hmm.
tiles to maintain in hand.
Another step forward for the dealer. Um, just
One
looking
tile
at, yeah, one tile to go.
and Reach with Dora 3, he'll take it any day of the week.
Absolutely.
Even a potential Ipeco in the Sosu if you can draw the 2-so or the 4-so.
Mm.
And what we see on
Those
the
aren't out
right,
yet.
yeah,
Oh, the Tuzo is out. The Tuzo is out, but another Tuzo in hand and the other Forzo in hand. In fact, he's waiting on one of those threes to drop, probably, though he can't claim it.
on the right we see Oliver committing fully to that half flush, full flush hand.
There we waiting on either the Green Dragons or the North Winds, which aren't his, but it wouldn't matter in a half flush hand.
True, and of course, the ideal draws would just be more Pinzu. You could toss those honor
Hmm.
tiles. Go,
But he's got options now.
that's right, and well, this is a nice pickup for Lucas. Fills the 7-9 Kanchan, and now is deciding what to do with the Monzu shape. So when you've got that 1-mon, 4-mon,
Reach.
it's a little bit inefficient to keep both. Besides, the door is more valuable to hang on to, but it's
Hmm.
Arthur who declares reach
Going for
first.
and he's going for the Ipeco, waiting on a 5-so.
Yeah, interesting decision. You could discard the 6-so for the Suji Trap 3-so wait. Instead, discards the 2-so and now has a Nakasuji 5-so wait for a little bit of extra value with that Ipeco.
Wow.
And will the
And
players believe in Nakasuji?
yeah, oh, well, let's find out. I
リーチ。
mean, again, we've got some very veteran players here that I'm sure have seen situations like this, but are they going to recognize it this time around?
And
Is the question.
Jeremy had been sitting in Tempai, uh, chose to Dama because the weight wasn't good, just the 3-so. Once he found the south wind, though, chooses to go Katanki weight, waiting on the south wind, the last one. You imagine it will come out if someone draws it.
Hmm.
スモ。
But it's
Oh, the
Arthur with
sumo!
Sumo. Oh my
Wow.
goodness, so reach Sumo, Ipeiko, Tanyao, and Noura. But this is another manga on hand. We said we were going to see these.
Yep,
All the
and there
players
they
at the
go.
table know how to make value.
And
And
that's
well, Art,
exactly what we're seeing right now.
yeah,
10,000 points going into him, and
Steal
I always
Ricci
get
stick away
thrown
from
off
camera.
when the camera changes, but yeah, that's got him not in the lead, but knocking on the door. So,
Yeah, the battle is quite tense here. I mean, it's real tight score lines as we move forward in the game. And our
mhm.
dealer is looking to have a fairly normal starting hand, has the potential to incorporate a Dora 1-1, which is just drawn. Beautiful. Probably going to make a standard
Mhm.
Ricci and hopefully Pinfu type hand. To the right, it looks like we've got 4 pairs. Also good shapes as well. You might not be making a pair-based hand, and also has the ability, just like Arthur, to incorporate Dora. Across the table,
Absolutely.
we've got, well, 5, 6, 7 in the Manzu, good shapes in the Pinzu, but uh, not
Not a lot
as,
else.
yeah. And on the left, well, there's a pair of Hatsus, so that's a good start. And, well, we see some awkward Penchon shapes, 1-2 pin and 9-8 so. Lots of honor tiles, a little bit awkward there. We'll see if this, as you discard those awkward shapes, maybe 1-2 pin comes out and gets replaced with a couple Sozu tiles, and then
Mhm.
the 1-mon comes out, it gets replaced with an honor tile, and you could make your way to Honitsu, although I bet you're hanging on to that door 1-mon for a little bit longer than you would otherwise.
Not calling the Green Dragons there.
Yeah,
on the
interesting
from
decision.
Jeremy. Yeah. What's he
Perhaps
got planned?
reading the hand is a little slow, and if you do call it and lock in your other shapes, it's only going to be worth 1,000 points. So
Mm,
maybe not worth opening yourself up and making yourself vulnerable, especially with
right.
these other players at the table. They declare reach. You don't want to be vulnerable to a Mangan hand.
And it's all about value. I think they've dictated that's the pace this game is going to go. It's going to be all about dropping these big hands one after another. Oh, but draws it.
Well, that's
Picks
another reason to pass on the first one. You can always
yeah.
draw the second. And well, this is a
Doesn't
great
usually
pickup.
happen that quickly, though.
Typically not. I'm sure Jeremy's feeling quite pleased with that. And well, on the right, the two pin is a great pickup. You complete the 2, 3, 4
Hmm.
sequence, and there's some complex shapes here. A lot of pairs still. See how he chooses to handle this. You could discard the two mon and shade towards a
That's what he does.
potential Yanpeko if you pick up the right Pinzu tiles. You can also build a Chitoitsu hand if you were to pair something up. So
Yeah,
lots of options.
we are seeing some pairs forming there. And now that you mention it,
Three
that
so
tile
doesn't
doesn't
quite
really fit
fit.
with any of those. But yeah, I'm
Uh,
thinking the players are starting to see he's discarding a lot of the Sozu tiles.
that's right. Maybe something to consider as we hit the second row of discards. Important to note, our dealer is Ishan 10, one tile away from Tenpai, and
Ah,
would
yes.
ideally draw that 3 pin. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
with his hesitation, this player knows that one of the 3 pins is discarded, and it's likely that either the player to the right has a pair of them, because if you look to the left, it with those lower pins being discarded, you wouldn't think that they're hanging onto tiles that could potentially cheat that. So we
Right.
see Ash discarding the 1 pin in favor of the 4 and is hoping to get out of a 3 pin wait, knowing that there's likely only one left in the wall.
We got a call from left. Jeremy picking up some of the Sozu there. Um, looking to make a Honitsu, looks like.
Well, Jerry, at least recognizing that it's getting late and you might want to be thinking about stopping a bigger hand from developing. So makes that call, has this relatively safe West Wind in hand, and just one more call away from Tempai. And look at this switch from uh, Oliver here, discarding the 4 pin after pairing up the 2 pins. So you can make Pinfu now and potentially Ipeko in the Sozu. What a great way to dodge the issue of the missing 3 pins.
Right, absolutely.
Oh, decision
Picking up
time
5.
for
That's.
Navitas.
Mm. Does he keep going for the pairs, or is he going to go for his, albeit many options, with this hand?
Exactly.
He's going to drop
Decides
it.
it's a little more flexible to hang on to the pairs.
Hmm.
And
Meanwhile, the dealer has also discarded the 4 pin, excuse me, and staying Ishan 10, but maybe opening himself up a little bit more to make that leap to 10 pi. Um,
yeah,
could be an Ipeko, possibly.
this is a very wide weight for dealer. You can accept
Hmm.
the vast majority of the middle um, Sozu tiles for Tenpai. You can
1
also grab a 2 pin, but here's
Reach is
reach.
called.
Arthur once again declares reach for Pinfu with a Dora. So reach, Pinfu, Dora. We
And
know the
waiting on that
6,
6 or
9.
the 9 of Sozu,
We
which
see.
is one of the things in hand for the dealer.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine a world where that comes out. Well, if you draw a 5, so that gives you Tempai, and you're forced to discard the 6 so. And with all those middle tiles, it might be a little bit hard to use.
Hmm.
You might be willing to push that, especially as dealer with a door in hand. Well, Tempai found. We'll see how he
Oh,
takes
there it is. Oh, but he's going for the Ipeko.
Ipeko
Ipeko,
Damaten.
Ipeko Dominant. No reach he called here. Going for the 6 or the 3. So again, it's one suit that always seems to get very dangerous amongst these amongst these 4 rather.
It
Of
looks
course, the
like
3s are already
Lucas.
discarded. So is one of the 6s. Um,
We see lots of those winning tiles in hand for Jeremy.
mhm.
Lucas choosing the three
Dropping
pin.
the. Oh, he was dropping the dragons from before.
Yeah, that 5 so was not
We
safe,
got a
but
disconnect from. Oh, he's back. Okay. But
yeah,
there's that 5. Oh, and he's going to drop it. Well, no need to worry about that conundrum now, I guess.
right.
Yeah.
つも
sumo
Oh,
found
and picks
for
up the
Arthur.
9.
The sumo pinfu dora and no-ura. So not maximum value. We get 5,200 points plus his
Mhm.
Riichi stick back. And well,
That's going to take the lead,
yeah, we have a new for, oh, well,
right? He is taking the lead, right? If I did the math right. Yeah.
that's right.
Uh, Thought so.
Well,
It's been a long week.
well, look at this dealer
Oh,
start. Pair of
wow.
Hatsu, which
Yes.
is Dora.
Hmm.
And now the
And he's
question
already
goes,
got a pawn of the 6 Manzu there.
yeah, that could be extremely flexible. Be really interesting to see what Oliver does on the left with that Dora tile in hand. Now, some people take the thought if you can't use it in your hand, discard it immediately so that it lessens the chance of someone else being able to use that. And other people like to hang on to that for a while. Looking at his hand, it doesn't really have a pair locked in yet. So I imagine Oliver might hang on to that Dora for a little bit longer and try to make use of that. Unfortunately, it seems Lucas is having some connection issues, and so we'll look to the hand on the right, which quite strong. There's already a complete set in the Sozu and some nice shapes in the, sorry, a complete set in the Pinzu and some nice shapes in the Sozu. Oh
Oh, and he's going to
no!
drop that Dora, which would have made a pawn
That would have
go with
made
his other pawn.
value. You
So,
would have been calling your way to
wow.
as much as you
Yeah.
could. That's so unfortunate. Well, it looks like the battle will be in the other hands. And across the table, Jeremy has a beautiful hand. This is Ishan
Oh,
10
yes.
already. We're only 4 discards in. And such a wide way for Tempai. The one so is one of the tiles, but you can't call that.
He's going to keep it
Oh, it looks like
closed.
we'll see another one.
Oh, is he
Well,
gonna? He's not going to call it. Going to keep it
mm,
closed.
yeah, you
It
can't
it
call
wouldn't
here
really work.
without the
Yeah.
potential for Sanchoku, right? It looks
Right.
like you draw that bird though. You draw a 4 or a 6 or a 3 or a good number of
Mhm.
tiles in the Manzu as well, and you get yourself Tempai. Even if a good Pinzu draw would help. And we see Oliver on the left. We were talking about that Dora. It finally comes out. He was hanging on to that for a good while. We can see why. We're getting 2 tiles away from Tempai now, and it's starting to become a liability in the
Solidifying.
hand.
Mm-hmm.
And
Time to
well,
drop it now, because had
Reach.
had Lucas been here, that would have been very dangerous.
that's right.
He can still
Well,
come back. Well, although he can't pick that up anymore, obviously. But
yeah, good
we have
timing
Ricci
on that
called.
discard. After that reach, you
Yes.
don't want to discard it after that. Just Richi no Mi. No other value here.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Oh,
comes
dropped the
Done.
out.
3, and
That's unfortunate.
uh, you hate to see it. Luckily, it's not too bad.
Yeah, only Richi no Mi. So that does put does pull Jeremy out of 4th place. So now slight 3rd here. And Korak with a great dealer starting hand. I really like this. It's
Oh,
got a
yes.
Dorotel as well. And wow, filling that. Kanchan, 1, 2, 3 secured. So now only a couple tiles away from Tempai here. To the
Mm-hmm.
right, 1, 2, 3 as well for in the Pinzu. But a lot of honor tiles to discard towards a more standard hand. And look, the hand across from us, we see a Honitsu being built here. The north is
Wow.
not
Yes.
Yakuhai,
Earth-
but
It's
that's
it,
okay.
it's still a valuable building block for a Honitsu.
And you could even think about building Honitsu with pairs. You've got 4 of them, although one of them is
Mhm.
in an Anko of 6 so we'll see if that might turn into Honitsu Toy Toy or Honitsu Chi Toy or just Honitsu. And on the left, looks like a fairly standard hand. We'll hope that this builds towards a Pinfu and a Reach.
See, it's got the couple of Sozu sitting there, probably looking to toss those. Oh well, maybe not just yet.
Looks like Korik's hand has really progressed. Look at the shapes that he's
Mm,
created here. This 6,
absolutely.
7, 8, 8, 8
And
with
picks
the
up the
floating
7.
June. This is
Yeah.
interesting. Which way do you go
Is he
with this? It's
gonna?
so wide.
He's gonna take the 7 and possibly set it up for a double-sided weight for Ricci, as we know he's up to call.
I've
Uh,
got a question for you. So suppose you were to draw Tempai with the 5 pin and you want a pair weight. Would you
Boom.
rather take, well, it looks like taking the double-sided weight isn't that great because you've already discarded a 7 Mon.
that's true.
So
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
you wait for the Tanki on the Dora Shun. And here we go. We'll see that.
Oh,
Ich.
Korak.
keeping the tune as we were guessing.
Decision time for Jeremy. Has the safe
Khan.
1 pin for now. And wow, Khan from
Oh,
Oliver. This is
Sumo.
Ishanten. Oh, but the
oh, but
Tsumo
there it
found
is.
Itsumo Dora 2. And will we find Ura? One
He
found.
does
That's not
get
enough for
one.
the Hanuman, but Dealer Mangan and Korak
He's really
traces his lead.
yeah, moving into South 2 and a considerable lead with not much of the game left. And looking at his hand now, good grief, 4 pairs.
4 pairs, two
Right up.
Yakuhai pairs too. We could see another massive hand from Korak.
Man, some days you just really get in sync with the wall and just capitalize on it.
Yeah, capitalization being an important word. Some days you get the good draws, but you can't quite pull it off. Well, Korak certainly is doing that, and another great draw with a 5 mon. Well, on the right, we see an
Mm-hmm.
Uncle of Haku pulled in by Jeremy, and pairs as well. Excited to see how this hand develops. Across the way, Oliver with a good shape in the Sozu and a good shape in the Pinzu. Also has the 7-8 Yanmen. So this looks like a very natural Pinfu type hand. And the hand
Boom.
on the left,
Picks up the Easts.
good call for Korak. Flexible shapes here. Interesting to see if he will call this 4 and shade
Chi.
towards Honitsu. Does so.
He does, yes.
Still
Dropping the
maintains
white.
flexibility though.
Hmm.
You know, if you're going full force for Honitsu, you'd hang on to perhaps to that Haku and try to pair that out. But Arthur
Jeremy didn't pick
decides
up the. I was just going to point out, I guess Jeremy is looking for more value with a closed hand. That kind of
that
answers the question I was about to ask you about, as far as would you pick up that extra white for the con, maybe go for some extra Dora, but he's picking the path of keeping it concealed, and we're in 10 pi for dealer, waiting on pairs here.
that flexibility paying off for Korak. For Arthur, he
リーチ。
not doesn't make Honitsu, but chooses the
Another pair
Shampon.
weight here to go for reach. 4 or 6. Double pairs, I should say.
Yeah, reach Haku Ipeko. Oh, but finds
Boom.
Korak's tile. Not
Oh,
the most value. Only,
it still hurts when you're trying to get back in the game here.
yeah, taking 3,200 there. Drops you to 4th place now. Well, nothing Jeremy could have done about
Boom.
that. That was a great hand that
Stuff
he had
greens
managed
right
to
away.
build. Korak going full aggression here. Calls the early Hatsu. Has great shapes. Can easily call his way to Tempai. And on the right, I'm liking these shapes as well. Anko of 2 Mon already. And unfortunately, no ability to incorporate. Well, there's a small chance of incorporating the Dora 3 so, but it's a little bit awkward with that pair of ones. Across the table, we have the pair of North Wind and some good shapes for what looks to be a Pinfu type hand. And on the left, 5, 6, 7 in the Manzu, and some awkward shapes elsewhere. Does have one of the Dora tiles though, and looks to be discarding everything. So Korak finds Tempai first, as expected, waiting on 5 and 8.
Boom.
Comes
And
out
there it
immediately.
is. Very quick hand. I barely had a word to say about that. That was just instant hand win. Just add water.
Yeah, look at this point gap too. 55,000 already for
Ooh.
Korak. We did see a game fairly recently that ended up over 100,000 points, and Korak is making his bid for that himself.
He's taking that as a challenge. He's going to try to beat that tonight, perhaps.
Well, we'll see if he can pull that off. Looks like maybe the 9 so might come out here as he starts to build, unless he's thinking about making the Itsu, but it does. More of a traditional Pinfu hand with Dora. That being the 2 so, and
チ。
maybe regretting that 9 so discard a little bit, as there is now a possibility for Itsu. As we look to the
That is
right,
true.
Jeremy calls. What do
Bit
you
of a
make of
long
that?
shot, but yeah, Itsu could. Jeremy calls there. Um, yeah, that is interesting. Opening the hand up, is he possibly looking for Chanta?
Well, I'm
The only thing
seeing
I could really think of, but
yeah, a lot of middle tiles. Looks like he's got that south pair though, and he that is double Yaku high. So
that is true.
perhaps just Atozuke waiting for the south to come out, trying to just end Korak's dealership. And wow, look at that pickup for Korak. The seven. So
Hmm. It's gonna be tough to end the dealership like that.
yeah, your shapes are kind of locked up though now. You don't really need the extra Sozu unless you're thinking about redrawing that nine. So
Picks it
instead,
up.
with that, these odd calls 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, the other players are alerted to the fact that this is not a normal hand and might be more
Hmm.
cautious in discarding the south wind.
Right. No south wind's been drawn just yet, other than the two in Jeremy's hand.
And it looks like Oliver also goes Atozuke calling the door to so immediately gets the red dragon to come out and now finds himself Tempai waiting on the 3-6 for Chundora 1. Well, here's a 6. And Korak's
Ooh.
got to drop this. Oh, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
Recognizes the danger and maintains
Wow.
flexibility. Oh, but it comes
There's the
out from the
six, and
and
coming up
I
from
imagine
Lucas.
Korak Arthur is quite pleased with the way he played that hand, delaying the discard until
Mm,
Tempai, recognizing that that has a chance of dealing in. Well played
mm.
defensively.
That's
You
that
know,
veteran tile awareness there from Arthur, for sure.
looking at dealer's hand, so many inner tiles. This could become a
Mm,
Tanyao, and lots of pairs as well. We see three of them. See how this hand develops. To the right. Oh, look at these shapes. This is
on the
Ishanta
left, we
already.
got. Wow, yeah, that's right.
A bit of a weak shape in the Manzu, but that could be upgraded easily and can incorporate the door one so in hand
Hmm.
across the table. These shapes are a little bit more awkward, and well, I keep forgetting that this hand is discarding all the tiles.
I
The
guess he is
left,
just completely disconnected. I guess.
yeah, and
Mm,
extremely frustrating, I'm sure, for Lucas.
absolutely. You
Sometimes you
really
get
hate to see it.
some. Oh well, look at these two calls from Jeremy. This looks like
Oh, okay.
Honitsu
An open Honitsu.
and potentially Chinitsu if you can draw more Manzu tiles.
Yeah.
Sometimes as a player you get games where you don't feel like you get to play very much because the other players are going so quickly, and
Hmm.
sometimes you get games where you actually don't get to play because of internet issues. And while we see a reach on the right side, Oliver finds Tempai, Ricci waiting on the 1-4, so or just Ricci no me.
Hmm. And that's the two so's he's got in hand. He's not dropping them though.
Yeah,
I think he recognizes what he's going for here. Because even though
oh,
that will prevent him from getting, oh, there's the drop.
yeah, unfortunate for Lucas, and it looks like Oliver will pick up 2,600 in that hand plus his Ricci stick.
Heading into all last now, taking a look at the scores, we have a tie for second, and that's really going to be, I think, the most competitive matchup here between Ash and Lucas. Again, unfortunately, Lucas is offline, but
Yeah, the
it's going to be
Korax
tough to catch up with Korak at this point.
so far ahead with 55,000. It's a tough task, but if anybody can do it, it's Oliver as dealer. He has a chance to repeat over and over and over again,
Mm,
make
that
his
is
way up.
true.
And, well, that's also interesting. Even if he were to pull the lead away, the game would end. So Arthur would get one more chance at it. But there's still a lot of work to to go before we can even talk about that yet. Looks
Right, he's got
like
a mountain to climb.
Jeremy.
He's got a good hand, as you said. Good shapes forming up here.
Oh yeah, wonderful shapes for dealer and potential to incorporate door as well. Jeremy deciding I don't want this game to last any longer than I have to. It looks to be building a Honitsu with the Yakuhai South as well. Another Honitsu for Jeremy, so this will be two in a row. This isn't bad for Oliver. And across the table, Arthur has some nice Yanmen in the Manzu and a couple Tanyao type pairs in the Sozu, including a pair of the Dora 5 so we might see some fast calls from Arthur for Tanya Dora 2 or 3. Another call for Jeremy, who is now Ishanten for Honitsu.
Wow.
Needs to find that 7-so though.
That's gonna be the rub, and there's two of those 7-sos up in Korak's hand right now. He's looking like he's gonna hang on to those to see what can come of it. Dropping the 2 pin.
We see a 5-so drawn for Jeremy. Chooses to discard one of the honor tiles, and this could turn around. It's a little that 5-so is awkward because we see 3 of the 6s are already called. So perhaps hoping to pair that up.
There's a 6-so, speaking of.
Home.
It makes sense because
Ash
2 of the
gonna hang
Hatsu
on
have
to
already
it.
been discarded. Korak making that call for Tanya. And now a pair found for Jeremy. It's not quite the tile you wanted to pair up, but it is more efficient than hanging on to that east wind, so we'll take it. Dealers, Ishanten Tenpai now.
Wow.
Dama 10.
Go for it. Dama 10. Waiting on the 2 or the 5-so.
And something that I didn't mention with Jeremy's hand, that 5-so is the Dora, so of course you want to incorporate that if at all possible. Oh, and it might come out, because this is Tenpai for Jeremy.
And it does!
It was like
The roam!
Because Korak had gotten Tenpai at the same time. So 2,900 for Pinku Dora for our dealer, and then Korak with Tanya with Dora 3. This sinks Jeremy down, who unfortunately found Senpai. Sometimes you don't want to get that. Not recognizing, well, perhaps recognizing, but choosing to fight for second place and dealing that slightly dangerous Dora tile. And sometimes you know it. Yeah, sometimes you know it's bad, and you just have to fight for it.
And I mean, taking a look at his hand now, it would be difficult to make that kind of value in just one hand if that's the hand you've got. But if he sits back, let's Ash win a few. You know, as long as he keeps winning, this game's going to keep going. So he might be waiting for just that perfect pitch, to use baseball term, to really possibly take this up into second.
Yeah, and an kind of unfortunate circumstance with Lucas being disconnected. Maybe the game plan is just to wait and hope that dealer knocks down Lucas until he's in striking range.
That is something you've got to consider with a disconnected player who's on auto drop. Is just that's just a total anomaly, essentially. I mean, that can hold some tiles in forever, or just throw some out all willy-nilly. It just the way it happens. It's just kind of this random tile drop.
It's a difficult scenario for the players at the table to decide how to play it. Jeremy chooses to
reach.
Play this the normal way, right? You in this deep fourth, you might want to just win as many points as you can, and this is reach for Itsu in the Manzu, waiting on the 2 mon. So I definitely appreciate this move from Jeremy. And well, we've got a Suji trap set, so the 2 mon might come out.
This could be an interesting finish.
We haven't commentated on the fact that dealer has had that Ipeko in the Pinzu to start with.
Oh, but here's the 2.
Senpai,
Not gonna drop it.
That Ipeko includes the Dora 8-pin, so now waiting on the 3, and Jeremy can't defend against this. Ipeko Dora 2 would be 3 and 40 for Oliver, which would be incredible pickup. Another opportunity to catch up to Korak. Chooses to keep the 3 mon Tenpai. And where are those 3 mon? We see 2 in hand, 2 in the wall.
And the wall's not got much left.
Yeah, 1 2 mon left for Jeremy, 2 3 mon left for Oliver, and Korak.
The last tile's gonna drop, and it's gonna be auto dropped, and it's not it.
Yeah. Oh,
but still, yeah, that would have been interesting.
This is not a bad outcome. We get to go again, pick up a few points, and with Arthur having to pay 1,500, that moves Oliver 3,000 points closer. Plus, there's
Baby
a reach
steps.
stick in the pot.
Slow and steady can really win the race in these games sometimes.
We mentioned that Oliver has a chance to go on a long dealer run, and while looking at
Mhm.
his hand, there's a lot of Pinzu there,
Yeah,
and
I'm seeing a definite Honitsu,
yeah,
possibly going for
definitely
the full flush if the fates align, if he starts really picking up some an influx of Pinzu.
yeah, across the way. Korak's got another great hand, and it's got one of those Dora
C.
Aso and potential for Tanyao, and of course Arthur has a lot of incentive to just finish this as quickly as possible. Calls the 2-3-4 sequence. It's going to make
That's a play for
Tanyao here.
speed. That's definitely a play for speed. He's not liking what he's seeing. He wants to shut this thing down while he can.
Well, there's a Dora
Home.
pickup. This is great. And Oliver calls that 8 pin, committing to the Honitsu now.
I should correct that. He's going to shut it down, but he's going to do so with as many points going out as possible.
That's true. You'll note he holds the 6 so in hand, so not committing to locking up that pair of Dora. If he sees the 7
Hmm,
so, he'll call that, take a step closer to Tenpai because he doesn't need all the
Home.
points.
right. Picking up the pung of sixes there.
And maintaining the flexibility in hand. Well, Jeremy has an Uncle of Haku, but still 2 tiles away from Tenpai, and not calling, wants to maximize the value here. Well, there's a pair of Chun picked up, one left in the
Hmm,
wall, so this Honitsu could be very real for Oliver.
absolutely.
And Jeremy, with that 4 pin in hand, has to decide whether or not, how aggressively he wants to push that. Oh, and this 9 pin as well. It's awkward. He
Home.
deals it.
He picks it
Oliver,
up, dropping the white.
Con.
Khan
He goes for the con.
draws a tile too. This is Chun's our Tenpai though, so this is
Oh,
uh, Chun's our
sorry, that
Dora,
choose our Dora now,
revealed
but
by the
he
Khan,
is
and
Tenpai.
Tenpai found for Oliver 2 pin is the weight. Oh, but
Wow.
they're all locked up in the other player's hands,
Hmm. And
and
two are definitely not going to be dropped. The other two, probably not going to be dropped.
you'll notice that when Arthur
Con.
picked up that 7 pin, decided
Mm.
not worth fighting against dealer.
Calling a con there to maybe get it out of the Rinshan tiles.
Oh, another con possible,
Ooh,
or you could change your
Con.
weight to the.
he's going for it. Concealed con. Sadly, we know it's not in there, but when you're in a situation, you kind of have no choice.
Yeah, could have changed the weight to the 4 pin. Almost unlucky to have not done so, but we see the 4 pin is
That is
one
true.
remaining as well. And wow, Arthur finds Tenpai. You have to drop the tune. And he can't.
Hmm.
Discards the safe 8 so instead.
He's not taking chances, even though he has a
Absolutely.
huge lead.
Oh, and the 4 pin is
Oh
drawn.
no. Well, he still stays alive.
This is still
Ultimately,
okay. It's not the
yes.
manga that you're hoping for, but
Again,
you
picks
pick
up
up.
another very respectable 3,000 points and moving within 30,000 points to Korak's lead here. Just slowly chipping away.
That's right. And great starting hand. Looks like some beautiful shapes in the Sozu and the Pinzu and some potential Tanyao tiles. So we could be making Tanyao or a Pinfu. We'll see how this develops across the way.
Beach.
Arthur finds
Oh my
Tenpai on
gosh.
the 3rd discard.
Hmm.
Dichi Dora 1,
Waiting
waiting
on the
for the.
4 or the 7, which our dealer has.
We see 3 of the 7s in hand, 3 of the 4s in hand, so 1 of each left in the wall. But as dealer, you
Mhm.
want to fight for your hand, and if you do so, you got to drop that 4 pin.
Yeah.
With so
He's
many
got a few
pair.
other options. He's got some time to buy here before he has to look at that, but
C.
Yeah, there are pairs in hands. With so
gee.
many pairs, you can discard one of them and stay a little bit flexible.
Mhm.
Choose the awkward shape, and you can call the Haku as well for your value. Well, Jeremy on the left also, wants to win something. Is getting
That is
close to
true.
Tenpai.
He's
He's
looking
really
just
flexible here.
get a good
And
reachy hand going.
2 tiles away, and you can call this to Guishan 10, but that's not the value you're looking for.
No. It's looking for
Sumo.
Oh,
a 3 pin. Oh, but Arthur draws the 4 pin, and that's the game. Picking
Unatsu
up
for
another
Mangan.
Mongon out the door. An explosive win from Korak, picking up 60 UMA points with 70,900, followed by Ash, Navitas, and Ichiban. Hard fought game, lots of big hands dropping, and Korak walks away with the lion's share tonight.
Something that should be noted with that sumo, this knocks Oliver down below 30,000, and that's why he ended up with a negative finish.
That's right. That's a new rule in the league this year, I believe.
With one player finishing over 30,000, this means that the other three players will receive 0 points for second, negative 5 UMA points for third, and negative 15 UMA points for fourth. So although Oliver had such a good run as dealer at the end there, unfortunately, despite all of that, finishes negative, and it's Arthur with the massive first place to start us off.
As one heck of a season opener that gives him some incredible momentum heading into the rest of the season here. Um, I think he's looking to, he made it to the final match last season. I think he's looking to get there again, if not take it. So, but
Yeah,
it's
and
early on and anything can happen. So we'll see. We have a programming note here. So since, again, Oliver was having the connection problems there, we will be moving to another group here, set to start in probably just a little bit here. Or they might be already underway. I'm looking at the notes coming in from the chat.
yeah, we definitely don't want to start another game until you're certain that those connection issues have been
Absolutely.
resolved.
All right, so we'll be going to another pool within the A1 division. That'll be coming up in just a couple minutes here. Um, I need to see who this is. This is kind of unexpected. This is live broadcast, everybody. Um, but yeah, definitely, that's not the last time you will see those four facing off in the ARML. I mean, they've still got three more matches that will be played at some point. So, hey, do yourselves a favor out there. Hit that follow button and definitely come back when they start to play this again and pick up this series. Um, I'm sure it's going to be just as explosive moving forward in the other three Hanchams. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Despite the sort of technical issues there, we did see some incredibly strong play from all the players, and as we
Absolutely.
expect from all the players at the
Absolutely.
A1 league. And goodness, I'm learning a lot watching these players
Oh, me
play.
too.
And so hopefully you as well watching the stream are also picking up some useful tips. It looks like the other A1 game that is starting very soon is going to be from group table 3,
Yes,
which
table three.
which would be Eric, who was the champion from the Beta League season, Simon, Beechen, and Axel. And I, for one, am really excited to watch Eric play. In the Beta League, I was in Pool D, and Eric, I believe, was in Pool A. And so we never had the chance to face off against each other. And for the most part, I tended to watch the other players from Pool D and not so much the other groups. And so I actually haven't seen Eric play outside of the championship match. And if you missed the championship match, a uh, there are logs for that, and there's also a VOD for that on the Twitch channel that was the first
Mhm.
official broadcast for the American Richie Mahjong League, and it certainly was a
Yeah.
thrilling series of four
Yeah.
Hanchan.
Triple Roan, I believe, happened in one of them. Is that true?
Well, not in that particular game, but definitely in the beta league it did. And just to note, there has been a substitution for that game, and rather the fourth player will be Jonathan. So
Jonathan. Okay.
Eric, Simon, Beechen, and Jonathan. And I remember watching Beechen play in the playoffs last in the beta league, and
Hmm.
had quite an impressive performance. In the playoffs for that beta league, you had to finish in the top two places in four Hanchan to move up from A2 to A1. And Beechen put on an absolute showcase of
Hmm.
strong hand building and incredible defensive strength. He would often get off to a bit of a lead at the beginning and then play quite good defense, always recognizing danger when there was one, throwing hands that were not going to be valuable enough to push
Hmm.
against danger, and then finding another win to strengthen the lead. And so it'll be really
Hmm.
interesting to see how Beechen
Yeah,
and Eric face off against each other.
absolutely. And 7 wins on that season. You may have already mentioned that. If so, my apologies. But yeah, as part of that 7-win club, that's especially in Pool B. It looks like it was very hard fought to get those 7 wins too. There's a pretty tighter spread in that Pool B.
Oh yeah, and I definitely remember Pool B being uh, extremely close, and I believe Beechen had to go on a bit of a tear at the end to make those playoffs, and then of course do so well in those playoffs to make A1. Definitely a player who can go on a bit of a streak. Be interesting to see if that can happen tonight. We've already seen in the A1 league tremendous dealer runs.
Hmm. Yeah, the one we just witnessed was definitely one, and that's kind of the thing. You can. I was part of a almost comeback in. I remember last in the beta league last time. I was it was South Four. I was dealer. I was building hands, building hands. Things were looking pretty good. I was in second, ready to strike at first, and then wouldn't you know it, the league's first Yakuman happens to
Well,
my left. A Daisangen.
I actually know exactly the game you're referring to because I was playing in that game, and
That's right.
I remember dealing into a dealer Baimon as your as your last dealer run,
That
and
is
dropped
correct.
me from second to fourth. And I thought, okay, maybe I've got a chance to get out of this. And then that Daisongan happened and just totally
Uh,
locked the game away. And
mm.
quite funny that
And here we
as
are. Obviously,
one of,
no hard feelings.
right, one of our last the strongest memories from that beta league was
Hmm.
that one game, the one with the Daisongan and that Baimon Dylan. That was certainly
Hmm.
quite an exciting game. And
Uh,
we've seen of several Yakuman so far. I believe 4 in the beta league, a couple Daisangen,
hmm.
Kazue, or rather, sorry, Kokushi, and was there Suanko as well?
I
So
believe so.
in
I
this
believe so.
the early days for this current season, no
Hmm.
Yakuman
It's
have yet
only the
beat
first
out.
week. We're not
Right.
even through the first week yet. Of course, the way it is, the sessions are lasting 2 weeks each, and there'll be 4 Hanchams played between the four groupings in those 2 week periods. So it looks like in
And
a couple minutes we'll be going over to that A1 matchup we've been talking about here. Um,
and on your screen, you can see the statistics for the players. Eric goes by the handle Afonso. Simon Arisu Daisuke, and Bichen goes by
Very nice.
Konamura, and Jonathan ASDF. Jonathan, being a student, hasn't played in the initial beta league, and so has no statistics yet. So really excited to see
I know. We've
how
got a
he
wild
plays.
card going in this match.
Absolutely, and well,
Hmm.
one of
I just
the
want to look at these rankings you've got from JSDF and Arisu. I'm, I'm sorry.
Daisuke,
Arisu
yes,
Daisuke,
Simon,
yes.
Simon,
Simon, yes. Yes, 1906, 1881. Um, Anyone who's played Tenno knows that's very hard to achieve and maintain
mm,
something that high.
yeah, the Tenho ratings that you can see as the players are sitting around the table waiting to begin. Um, we see Jonathan is a 5 dan player, so although a
Hmm.
wild card, we know he's a strong wild card. Not that
Hmm.
many players in this league have achieved that ranking, although many of those in the game that we were just watching have.
Hmm.
And it looks like Simon on the left, also respectable 4 dan player. And of course, the rankings here aren't necessarily indicative of strength, as we can see to the right. Eric, without that dan ranking, high dan ranking, however, extremely strong player. Eric is our champion. So from the beta league, so we know
This is true.
that ranking isn't everything, but it is nice to have a
Hmm.
little bit of an indicator of just how strong these players are. And we can see in
Hmm.
the upper right hand corner, we've got some of the statistics from the Beta League. Eric with a 22.8 win percentage and only 7.6 deal in percentage. That is such a
That is
good
correct.
spread.
And we
Have
are
it,
underway. East 1 with Konamura starting off with the dealer here.
and well, this starting hand does not spark joy. There are a lot of honor tiles and floating Pinzu tiles, only one really good shape. So we're going to be hoping that that develops into something a little bit better as we move forward. To the right, we've
Challenging
got
start there.
a pair of Haku and completed shape in the Sozu can even be upgraded with this 8 so draw into 2 shapes. And looks like that's a hand to watch out for Eric. Across from us, Jonathan has a potential Ipeko in the Pinzu. Outside of that, wants to build around the Dora Formon. And on the left, we've got a pair of Southwind, not Yakuhai, but it looks like a Ishan 10 already for Pinfu. And so perfect
Wow.
Ishan 10 now that that uh, 3 so has been picked up. Looks like he'll pass that on, keep a little bit of Manzu flexibility, maybe even dreaming about building uh, Ipeko in the Manzu.
Mm.
And well, look
It
at our
looks like
dealer
the
hand
dealer
again.
hand is really coming together. I
Boy,
was
those must have
watching.
been 5 perfect draws, huh?
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times when your hand starts off that way, it just means that you've got stuff that can easily fit.
Yeah,
Sometimes that
just about any tile you draw is
just
going to be
about any
better than what
tile
you
is what I
have.
mean. Yeah. So
Well,
we'll
this
keep an eye on that, of course.
this is bad. 2 tiles away from Tenpai already with those amazing pickups. To the
Yeah.
right, this is improving. We've got Ishan 10 waiting for a Dora to fill in that 3-5 Manzu shape and the beautiful 3-sided weight in the Pinzu. And this
Each.
6 Mon is a great pickup. Now you can accept
Mhm.
4-7 in the Manzu.
Player on the left calling Ricci here. It's looking for again. You said the Pinfu. Well, no,
Reach
it couldn't be
Pinfu.
a Pinfu.
Well, we've got
Oh no, it
South,
is. It's
not
right. South is
Yakuhai
not
Pi.
Yakai, so that's okay. You're right.
Yeah, we're good.
Looking
Reach
on the
Pinfu
3 or the 6.
looks like for the 3-pin 2 are in Eric's hand, and also one of the 6-pin is in Eric's hand, but 5 tiles still left in the wall. That's excellent chances for Tsumo here. And we'll see how the rest of the table reacts.
Home.
If anybody would be fighting, it might be Eric on the right. But with 2 door in hand, Jonathan calls the third
Chi.
and is building towards Sanshoku 789.
Ooh.
It looks like an awkward call from our perspective, but that's what's going to have to be built. And on the right, Eric finds Tenpai with calling the 7 Mon. It's interesting. Eric would have called the 4 Mon for Chi, but Jonathan prevented that by calling the Pon. So this is
Hmm.
only Panyao for Eric.
Absolutely.
The
Yeah.
Champon weight 3-pin, 8-pin. See,
Hmm.
2 8-pin already at the table, 1 in hand for Jonathan and 1 discarded by Beechan. And the 3-pin still left in the wall, so only 2
Sumo.
tiles there to draw.
Oh, and the sumo picks up the 3 pin to get that Pinfu. Good hand to start with. 3,700 points. Takes an early lead, and with it being a sumo, gets to push everybody down a little bit too.
Yeah, not the
So.
most expensive hand, but you'll take any hand to
Hmm.
start us off and move the dealership forward. And it's Eric now who has the first draw and discard. It looks like
Looks
some
like a
good Monsu shapes.
pretty clean hand here. Looking like good Manzu shapes, potential with the Pinzu, possibly even potential with the Sozu. And looks like that's,
Yeah,
yeah.
looks like, I mean, Pinfu chance for sure. And on the right,
Mhm.
good Tanyao tiles. No Dora. Dora is the south wind, and Jonathan is in the south seat. So you'd love to have a pair of those, but nothing going quite that way. Potential Itsu in the Pinzu. Across
Yeah,
the table, well, it looks like the Sozu shape is nice, and there's a couple Kanchan in the Manzu, which isn't quite so good. Might eventually see one of those 3 Mon being discarded to hang on to the 135 shape. Of course, it depends on what gets drawn. We might end up using those three mon as a pair in this hand. And on the left,
Hmm.
well, I'm liking this. Yishan Tempai now with that 4-pin pickup, but it's a
Ooh,
Kanshan weight and chooses to not even take the
not
Tempai.
going for it. Yeah.
And I bet you, looking at that hand, he's really hoping to pair up that Dora tile, perhaps realizing that the value is not there. And if I can even just draw a 5 or
リーチ
8, so I can declare reach on the Dora. And reach Dora 2 is 52 barring any Uda.
Mhm. We do have a dealer reach, by the way. He's waiting on that two or the five.
Well, this
And
is such a pretty
twos
hand,
are
isn't it?
in hand. Yeah, very pretty. The twos are in hand.
Oh,
Five,
リーチ
look at the left.
another one. Oh, chasing reach. Sevens or south to win. That Dora. That's Dora's become very dangerous now. Even though it's not the seat wind.
ツモ
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, and picks it up.
sumo, each, sumo, Dora 2, no Uda.
But still a Mongon. That's going to give him the lead.
And well, we move on then to Jonathan's first dealership in this league.
Mhm.
And we've got a pair of
Oh.
East to start. That's great. And a Dora tile. And
Hmm.
some beautiful Manzu shapes. So this could be a very fast hand.
Hmm.
We'll see if
It'll
the
be
East one
interesting to
comes
see
out.
where he goes. I mean, granted, yes, he didn't play in the Beta League, but he's got. I think he's earned a right to be here, even though it is just as a sub. So his scores, as far as the playoffs are concerned, won't be factoring in exactly. But he's still going to give
ポン
everybody some great competition.
And we're
And
certainly
picking up
grateful
two
that,
Han hand with those Easts.
yeah, grateful that there are players out there who are willing to be a sub when situation
チ
is necessary. And
Hmm. It'll
well,
be a great
Ishan
jumping off
10,
point going into season two, perhaps.
absolutely. Well, is there anybody who can fight the speed of this hand?
It's coming together very quick with some serious fire on it.
And the hand to the right's got awkward Kanchan shapes. Manzu doesn't look great, and Kinzu, there's
Two
a
pairs up across.
bit of a
Two pairs across.
chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hand across might be the best one of the
Hmm.
other three. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot of value here, and probably hoping to just declare reach. Do you even want to declare reach into this fast dealer hand? When
Hmm.
dealers called that east wind, you know they've got two values showing, and they could easily have a door in hand. So you're
Which is the
fighting
case
against
here.
already 5,800 points. If there's a
Hmm.
pair of Dora, that's 12,000 points you're fighting against. It's
Mm.
really risky to declare a
チ
reach with not much
And there's
value.
another call. 10 pie now, two or the five.
A little sad to see a 3, 4, 5 being discarded there, but of course you want to keep the 3, 4 Sozu shape for some
Absolutely.
extra value. And how will the other players read the Tempai here? The 3, 4 was discarded, and then the 5, and the early discards were all Sozu, so you might not be thinking necessarily that it's a Sozu weight, although 2-5 hasn't come out yet in the discards, of course. So you're still a little bit cautious of that side of things. Well, Ishan 10 for the player on the right.
Picking up another Dora on the left.
Well, that's a pair now. And speaking of pairs, this hand across from us has found 5 of them. So Ishan 10 for Chitoy.
Wow.
Is there a world where you
ポ
can
ン
draw the remaining Manzu tiles and perhaps go for Toy Toy or even Suanko?
Mhm. In
Uh-oh.
time. Uh-oh.
You can't. You
He drops
ドン
it,
comes out.
and there it is.
Yeah, that tile couldn't be used, and so outside of a Chitoy hand, so
Mm. A powerful dealer hand. That's going to give him the lead and remain as dealer.
yeah, and this is not a bad start as well. We've got a pair of Dora to begin with and a beautiful shape in the Pinsu. Could be Nichipinhu Dora 2, or even you can call for Tanyao Dora 2 or 3. On the right, the pair of Haku is great if you're trying to speed this hand along. And with these beautiful shapes in the Sozu and the lower Pinzu, that might be just what the doctor ordered for Simon. Across the lead, we've got an Uncle of Tuso, couple pairs. This hand could become a reach fairly quickly. Now, you do
Hmm.
want to build around that Dora 6 mon though. And on the left, we've got Anko of 1 pin, pair of 2 pin, pair of West, pair of 3 mon. So this is a very Toitsu based hand. We might
Absolutely.
consider Toi here, or just draw around that 2-3-3 shape and declare reach.
Hmm.
How's our dealer
Thinking
fared?
about this for Manzu here, probably thinking about options, building around the Dora, like you said. Um, he's got a lot of good shapes going on elsewhere, but thinking about how to resolve that, and he's going to put the Formon back. Um,
Yeah, that
Home.
Foreman's a
but
bit
otherwise,
awkward.
the Pinzu are really coming together here. Not enough that I'd say he'd be going for a flush of some sort. Uh,
We see a call on the right. Simon says,
oh yes.
let's make Tempai as fast as possible. This isn't going to be an extremely valuable hand, just the Haku.
Hmm. And we're still in the stage of the game where scores are still pretty tight. You don't really need big hands.
Mm.
So if you've got an opportunity for speed, he's going to take it.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to shut off someone else's hand than to build your own expensive hand, especially the tiles weren't quite there for an expensive hand. So we have Tempai. Oh, no, Ishan 10 now, but callable.
Chi.
And he does.
Callable on the right for the 2-5 and the 6-9, and now dealer calls as well. This is going to be
Hmm.
Tanya with a couple Dora. And now the
Home.
option's open.
And he's completing it up, snapping stuff quite quickly.
Well, now we've got Tempai, then
That's right.
3-6.
3-6. And he's got a
Come.
6
A
over
reasonable
on the
number.
left.
Yeah, a reasonable number. And the wall to be drawn as well. And Khan declared by Eric.
Ooh.
That's an interesting play. Eric is Ishan 10, and lacking in value. He wouldn't give to have the pair of Hatsu or the pair of East Wind
Beach.
back in your hand. Finds Senpai, declares reach waiting on 1-4 mon. The 4 mon would be Ipeko, of course.
Hmm.
And with 2 Dora indicators, this could explode from just reach to reach Ipeko,
Getting
Uda.
to see
Who
what's
knows?
underneath there. Yeah.
Chi.
There's a call now for
Ooh.
Beechen, who is in a little bit trouble because
Long.
you gotta drop that 1 mon
And he
for a
does.
value template. 1 Uda
And the
found.
champ picks up one Ura. Yeah.
So the scores remain tight.
Very tight. It's East 4 and still anyone's game. The
Mhm.
dealer here, looking a little bit of a challenging hand here. Got some shapes going, but nothing. Oh, there. That will help finish one of the shapes. There we
Yeah,
go.
there's opportunity to make Pinfu here. Yeah.
Yes.
The one awkward thing is that Tala doesn't fit is the 1 mon, but that's your Dora. Simon decides we need to discard this now and just stay efficient. We're dealer. We can make an early reach and take another dealer round. On the right, I'm liking these shapes. This 1-3 penchant, so Kanchan that includes the door is a bit awkward, but everything else looks pretty reasonable. And across the table, we've got some nice shapes in the Manzu, and the good decision, I think, to discard one of those pairs. Uh, Makes sense to discard the 1 pin pair, as you might be able to build Tanyao here. And there's flexibility here now. You can keep the 3 as a 1-2-3 shape, but instead discards the 1 pin. So really thinking about Tanyao or even Itsu in the Manzu. And on the left,
Hmm.
we've got what looks to be a fairly standard Tanyao or Pinfu hand. In the meantime, our dealers found themselves Ishanten,
Yeah. Very quickly.
waiting to pick up either a 5-so or a 7-so to fill that Yankan shape. And also has the double pair 3-pin and the 1-so. Well, this is an interesting tile with a 6-pin. You could drop back a Shantan and maybe drop the pair of 1-so and push for Tanya, but instead chooses to maintain Ishanten. And now
Mhm.
if you draw the correct Sozu tile, you can get a tricky Suji trap weight on the 3-pin.
That's right. Let's see, picking up the. He's going to go for an open weight over on the left there, picking up the 4 Manzu. Um, he's collecting those norths. It's his seat, so he could, again, every little bit counts when the scores are this close.
Yeah, we saw just then the North come out from Beechen's hand, not called. So Jonathan trying to build a little bit more than just Northwind only. And interesting, across the way, Eric had picked up a pair of East winds, but with one discarded already, chooses instead to discard that, and has sort of given up on the Itsu by discarding the 8-so.
Oh, but picking
This is
up
Tenpai.
Ricci, yeah, getting Ricci, sorry, Tenpai off of that 1-so draw and calling it right away. Closed weight for the 7-so. Not an ideal situation for Ricci, but it does have a Suji trap laid there with that 4.
Yeah, it's always a little bit awkward when your Ricci discard is the one that sets up the Suji trap because that's such a common shape. I'm certain the players at this table will be a little bit wary of that Suji trap, and sometimes you have to discard the tile. It's your safest one, but definitely expect to see a little bit of caution with that 7-so.
Mm-hmm. In this case, the 7-so is has a good home in the hand to the right there, Konomura. Looking like he's flirting with additional pairs there.
And we've got Tenpai across the way as well. No reach, but this could be drawn. We see one west discarded already, so one left in the wall. And as far as the 5-mon is concerned, two in hand for Beechen and Jonathan. So that one's not coming out anytime soon. And we find our way to Yukyoku. It's Eric and Simon who maintain Tenpai. Simon with another dealership.
And stays in the dealer here.
Well, this is not a bad start as well. We've got the nice Yamen shape in the Manzu, pair of 5s, good shapes in the Pinzo as well. So we could be making Tanya here. That's another great pickup with the 8-pin. To the right, we've got a call of the 9-so, and this looks like a Honitsu type hand. Wow, look at all of these honor draws.
Absolutely, yeah. Lot
Okay.
there, and definitely
One of each doesn't quite help, right?
It doesn't, but it looks nice.
It sure
It looks
does. Well,
orderly, especially if you were, say, going for Kogashi, but that's definitely not what's happening here.
oh, I wonder if Beechen wanted to call that, but instead, Jonathan calls opponent. This is the second time that he's done that. It's almost like he can see that this tile's so desperately desired by the other players. And well, that hand on the left, Jonathan, looks like it's just going to be Anya potential. You know what? Something that players oftentimes do. If you see a hand that's building a Honitsu in a suit, and a tile comes out, you can that could be cheated by that player. You can call opponent, deny that chi, and prevent that Honitsu from progressing, even at cost of your own hand. In this case, it's not a penalty at all, as Jonathan finds Tenpai already.
He's going for Tanya, it appears. Yeah, waiting now on either the
It looks like 3 and 6 for the
yes,
left.
3 and 6, yeah.
And well, that's the suit that Bichen wants.
It's unlikely he'd be dropping that, especially because a 6 would definitely work. 3 also would, to build off that 2. Oh, but there it is.
Yeah,
Just a
quite
simple
a fast
Tanyo,
hand.
but worth a lot of points for being just a Tanyo.
And even these small points matter. I mean, look, Jonathan's in first now.
Absolutely.
34,000.
That's all you need.
And it's Beechen's turn to fight in the dealer's seat. Pair of Haku to start.
West wins the Dora, and one of them is appearing in the left hand there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that hand can build towards 7 pairs, as we see 3 already, and just some awkward shapes. I mean, you want to pair up that Dora, and at that point, you've got 4 pairs, and so now you're starting to think, well, maybe I can get a 5th. And well, here is a 4th. So this
Oops.
could be Toy Toy or Chi or even Honitsu. I like this play, discarding the 5 pin and kind of shading towards a potential Honitsu or
Mm-hmm.
Chinitsu.
Dealers
And
picked up the Haku, um, the White Dragons. I still get mixed up on those sometimes.
yeah,
Um, but it has a lot of good working in the hand as well. Picks up
hanging
a
on to the
Northern
green
Cardinal
dragon and
Fuse.
red dragon, perhaps dreaming.
Dreaming of Daisangen.
And well, we saw another great pickup on the left. Look at that. The third one mon has been drawn. And so now two
Mhm.
uncle in the Manzu.
Uh, the reds come out. He's dropping the green. Okay.
And well, there's another hand that we haven't yet mentioned. Look at the across from us, Jonathan, who's in
Oh
the lead
yes.
right now.
Wow.
This is a beautiful hand, Ishan 10 for Pinfu, and potential Tanyao and Ipeko. With some excellent draws, you could even get Yanpeko if you pull the 6 so or the 3 so, and then find the Ipeko also in the Pinzu suit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ishan
well,
10 for dealer now.
yep, looking for more Manzu draws. Well, you're not going to get it from the left, but if
He
you draw
gets
it
it.
yourself,
リーチ
There we go. Ricci called. Keeping
reach
an open
Haku,
weight here to get 9 or the 6.
2 Han for now, but lots of Fu. And if you
ポン
pull an Uda, this is going to be extremely valuable as dealer. Tempai for Simon on
Senpai
the left
of the
calls the 9
Diamonds.
Toy Toy. Well, you can con this.
カン
Do you want to, though?
He
He
is.
doesn't. He
And he
draws
picks
the
it.
tile.
Rinshan.
You
Oh,
have to
that's not,
deal in.
not it. Hmm.
It,
And he
it
does.
does.
Oh.
Oh, well, now we'll see if that con bites him. It does. The new
Does.
Uradora, revealed by the con, is exactly what Bichen needed, and that becomes a 12,000 point direct hit. Well,
And that
now the
brings them
tables
from
have
fourth
turned.
all the way into first. Again, another lead change. Again, I mean the game's really kind of cracked open here now. Still pretty close. We could see another change. I mean, it's not over for Simon, certainly.
Certainly, you win a Mangan hand, and you're right back in things.
Absolutely. Good dealer hand though. I'm seeing here. Good Sozu shapes. Some good pairs of both the Pinzu and the Manzu.
Yeah, another pair found for the dealer. And on the right, we see all those Manzu tiles. Looks like a Honitsu is going to be built. Across the way, pair of Hatsu. Chance to incorporate the Dora 8 pin and, some reasonable shapes. Lots of Kanchans to fill, though. On the left, we got the
Good.
south pair, which is Yakuhai.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the south round. The Haku pair, really
Getting
close,
rid of
two
his
tiles
9
away.
pairs. Looks like dealer is not going to be going for the pairs.
Interesting. We had only 4, so and the other shapes look
Yeah.
like they could be built towards a normal hand, so that seems
Mm-hmm.
to make sense. But that's a nice pickup.
Yeah,
Ishan
there
10
we go.
now.
Wow.
Love to pick up the 3 so. Sanzo for the Ipeko.
Mm-hmm. On the right,
ポン
that's pretty much your just about there for the Honitsu.
Yeah, Hatsu called across the way
That's who
with
called.
Jonathan.
Wow.
2 tiles away now. And importantly, a lot of the tiles that Jonathan needs are not tiles that Eric wants. So it can easily call in the Pinzu and Sozu shapes. Well, look at this.
ポン
This
Wow.
Chitoi Tenpai, Menhon Chitoi, Honitsu, waiting on the 1 mon, but 2 are in
チ
Jonathan's hand. He doesn't drop it, and it's Tenpai also on the left for Simon. Things have escalated quickly.
Wow. Yeah, this could go any way right now.
Oh, here's a Dora draw,
Is he
and
gonna keep it though? He is.
of course
Um,
he will.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's a 3, so you can't call it though, and this is another pair
Mm.
found.
Does he
Yeah, it's
keep
a
the
little
pair though, or does he go for just keeping that 2, 3, 4? He does keep the pair.
flexible, so you
Yeah.
can.
Okay. So it looks like he is maybe flirting with pairs again.
Yeah,
Chitoitsu.
and the
5 he
pairs for
can't
the
call. Yeah.
Pins are a bit awkward, so see. Oh, temp I found, and it's the 9, so it's discarded. Waiting for the door. That makes sense. Third door drawn, and this is Tempai. waiting for the three. So we see two already discarded in one hand. So he doesn't know the wait's dead and
Yeah.
decides against the
The,
clean reach.
they're not just Doras, though. They are also the weight tile across the table. So,
Yeah, so Jonathan can't win unless he gets the last 8. So,
and
oh,
there it
and
is.
drawn. Peach, you can't
Oh, is he
discard
gonna?
at this point, can you?
カン
He
Yes, you
calls the
can.
con.
And now you can upgrade your shape. 2-5 4 pin weight
リーチ
if you discard and declares reach. 3 so okay, so Sean
Three.
Pong weight 4 pin
Wow.
4 so, and Eric, who's been template all this time for this beautiful hand, has to decide the 4 mon safe. Well, of course you're pushing it. It says a Suji trap on the one mon. Where's the south? Where's the last south? We haven't seen it yet.
He's dropping out of 10 pi. Looks like.
Yeah, that hand's just not worth it.
No. He
Now it's
recognizes, even in last, that these are some big hands forming up.
yeah, the hand that is worth it is this dealer
Oh,
hand
but
that's got 4 real
mhm,
tiles. And good play by Simon, playing
mhm.
ultimate safety here.
3 tiles to go. One of these gonna be the magic one.
And the only 2 people in this game are Eric and Dealer. Beechen,
And it's not there.
yeah, that 6 is safe.
Wow.
Wow. We have the
One
same
heck of a
reaction,
shootout, but nobody wins it.
and it's almost better that way. We get to keep the tension with the
Exactly.
close score lines. We have 3 players over 30,000, and a Dealer repeat for Beechen, who's got a pair of Westwind and one of those Dora tunes. So we'll see and
Mhm.
pair one of those up. Another shape
There's
split
another Dora
awkward.
Tune over on the right as well. And he's got some good Sozu shapes as well. Some pairs actually got it. Well, maybe he's not going for those.
Yeah, across the way we've got great Sozu shapes and um, that awkward 3-5-7s. When you got all those odd numbers, you need to fill in the evens. It always feels a little bit difficult, but there's definitely chances for that hand to complete to some sort of Pifu type hand.
Mhm.
And
On the left, we're seeing good progress. Got some sequences going as well as a few pairs.
yeah, I could see this hand completing in a fairly standard way.
Mhm.
Well, more pairs found for dealer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, that means we're Ishan 10 for Chitoy.
Wow.
1 tile away, and of course,
The
that's
Doras are
excellent.
dropping.
Yeah. Even with 1 Dora out, you still hang on to that tune because it would make an excellent weight if you're going for 7
Mhm.
pairs.
This is true.
But we find Tempai on the right, waiting for the 5 pin. It's early second row. The weight's not great. We're just taking Tanya out. And you know what? Eric, I'm certain, is thinking about the opportunity to draw the 7 or 8 and make Sanshoku, but instead finds Yanmin Wade and decides, well, that's good enough. So reach Tanyao Pinfu, waiting on the 2-5 pin. See, 3 5s
Fives
in
are
hand.
the 2 2s in hand as well.
There's only 3 tiles left in the wall, but the only hand that's really close enough to fight this was the dealer hand. And Vichen says, I'm in first. I don't need to take any unnecessary risks. I'll go ahead and start throwing away some safe tiles. So we'll see if Bichen can complete the safety dance. And also there's opportunity to back your way into Tempai. I mean, this is Ishan Tem with potential
Mhm.
Ipeko and the Pinzu.
Very close. Discards the tune.
Yeah, Chune's safe
No,
now.
Dora, it's safe, yeah.
And you know what? We've got Ishan Ten on the left. So we might see another hand pushing. And this is Simon, who is in 4th place. You want to start making those points back up. And so hanging on to that 8 pin, which isn't really safe just yet. Interesting call from Jonathan.
Pick up that the 8s there.
Is this going to be a push?
A push for Tanya, perhaps?
It's a bit distant.
Well, he's keeping that 1. It is a bit distant, you're right.
And perhaps feels comfortable with his defensive abilities. Well, we do find
Placing
Tempai
reach on the last 10 tiles.
4-7 weight. 4-7 pin, and we see
Sumo.
Oh,
Picks up the 7.
Ichi, Ipat, Sumo. We've got Pinfu and Sogura.
Rodora,
Ah,
but still 8,800 points. That is very nice.
yeah, we said Simon needed a hand to come back, and that's a good start.
Hmm. Only
Speaking
South
of
2. Things can
yeah,
happen.
speaking of good starts, look at this Ishan 10 already,
Wow.
and look at the hand
Ishan right out the
across.
gate. Oh my goodness.
My goodness, this could be pairs. I mean, sorry, this
Pairs
could
with
be
terminals.
right,
Well,
Chanta, but you want Sui, so I'm gonna say the forbidden words.
mm,
You want all honors, and well,
he's going for it, looks
it
like.
the hand with all those honor pairs is so flexible. You could make pairs, but you don't really want that. You can make Honitsu, you could make Chanta. For now, it looks like we're discarding Sozu, and we'll see how this develops. I mean, there's the first honor call.
Okay.
This came out of Jonathan's hand, who looks like they might also have a Honitsu type hand, except for the fact that you've just completed a Banzu shape. So this might just be double south and potentially reach an Ipeco. You see one of the south winds has already been discarded, so only one left in the wall. Be interesting if that comes out, if we see the call. And well, there's a great fill for Simon. 1, 2, 3 shape completed. So this is looking to be Honitsu with all of those honor tiles.
It's going to be a big value there, especially you got the Wests. That's his seat.
You were thinking, is this going to be Honitsu? Is this going to be Chanta? Why not Honitsu and Chanta?
Absolutely. You can stack it. You stack it.
Well, looking at the hand on the left, it's not bad. They're good shapes, but Simon's just faster. Calls the West
Hmm.
another Yakahai. And if you get the Chun, you're looking at Hanuman.
It's weird to think, even in that shape, even in the state that his hand's in, not having enough time to really catch up.
Yeah, I mean, we've just
Because
barely
we're
hit the
10
start of the
pie
second
now.
row.
East and red are the weights for the player cross.
Well, looking at the dealer hand, of course, you want to push his dealer with 2 Dora 6 and fighting, taking Tempai. Hanyao Dora 2. Will this kill the beautiful hand that's being built by Simon?
He'd
Yeah,
like to keep dealer a little bit longer, get a
three,
lead and cement it.
3 tiles left in the wall to draw. Well,
Hmm.
we find Tempai. Tempai on the south and the 9,
9 so.
so one of each tile remaining. Dealer's pushing. That 3-mon comes out. Of course, Simon's pushing.
Yeah, there's a lot of push happening. This is a
Oh, another
fight.
2.
Oh no.
That
And
deals
drops
it.
it.
Yeah, you can't defend when you're in reach, and this is going to be a beautiful 5,800 points from Eric, who now takes first place and gets a second dealership and a lovely starting
Wow.
hand. What a shame that hand across from the way with the
Hmm.
Honitsu didn't complete, but
That
my
would have definitely
goodness,
that would have put him in the lead easy.
for sure.
Um, but again, it's South 2, and really, he's not that far ahead as far as not that far behind, I should say. Um, both these players, it's still very close, South 2.
Well, we've got Ishan 10 for dealer already
Already, yeah.
for Tanyao and Pinfu and potential Ipeco.
I was going to say, it might not be that way for long.
We've got a pair of Chun on the right and potential Ipeco there as well. We'll see the Chun come out and
It's
called.
called.
So looks like Jonathan building a fast hand across from the way. We've got another great looking hand. This is Tempai.
And we have reach.
Tempai for dealer.
Closed weight of 7. Closed weight of 7. And rather sneaky. Well,
Yeah.
because there's just not a lot of information for the other players to go off of. There's the 7. Looks like he's going to keep that, though.
Yeah, you've got a whole set of those.
Yeah.
And a set of white dragons on top of it. You're
Hmm.
actually Tempai. And decides not to reach on the
Wow.
6-9 weight. Perhaps because the
We,
9 so is safe from dealer, so it is likely to come out.
mhm. We
And
are
maybe
10
this is
pi.
another reason. He does not take the Sananko chance.
Jonathan goes to 10 pi as well, waiting on the 5 or the 8. Manzu.
And we
Is there
see, yeah, Bichen hanging on to those 8s as well. He's holding everybody's winning tile while in Tempai
wow.
himself.
It's incredible.
Now that early reach from Eric was interesting, but after that early call, you may perhaps felt like he could put the pressure on. Unfortunately, the other players have managed to make tempi despite that, and it looks like only Simon is playing defensively here.
Picking up
相撲
another pair, and there's Sumo.
Wow, Dora
Yaka
3 found.
Haishun, 3 Doras. Wow. And
And
another lead change. And keep picking up the dealer on the way. The lead is following dealer here, and wow, look at that hand.
Hatsu already, a Dora in hand, and be interested to see what your first discard is here. You've got all the shapes you need.
Mm-hmm.
The tile that stands out here is the Dora, and Jonathan decides
本
efficiency is key. Calls the West,
Mm-hmm.
might discard the 1/2 penchant, and think about a potential Honitsu.
関
Absolutely. Calling a con
Con.
there. Interesting. He's really looking to grab as many points as possible on this first turn as dealer.
Well, you've already opened, so that increases the Fu and potential for new Dora. Now you might not be thinking about Honitsu, as if you pick up the 5 pin, uh, that's extra value. Well, on
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the hands, to the right, we've got Hanyao, potential 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku. Needs more draws there for sure to confirm that. Across the way, this is beautiful. There's even a potential for, um, well, Yanpeko now
On
as
the
well.
left, we've got just picked up a pair of Souths and got some Pinzu going on as well.
Notice just past the first south, so hoping to be able to build it closed. Decides, interesting for Jonathan, decides the 8-9 pin is better than the 9-7. So, and he'd be right. Look at the 2 8s in the left hand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe not right, because we see 3 of the 7 pin in the other, or all the 7 pin are gone. So, in the end, that might not end up being a
We
sequence
are
at all,
oh, it's not 10 by. Never mind.
as you can pair up the 8 or the 9 instead. And well, we are getting really close to Tempai, though.
Yeah.
On the
He
right,
drops
as
this too. He's probably going to call it.
right,
He's dropping the Souths, though. Or one of the Souths, anyway.
yeah, you can make Tanya and Pimu here. That's totally valid, and
That's
there's
true,
potential
yes.
to draw another door tile for that 5, 6, 6, 7 shape. And well, is this Tempai?
地
It's awkward. It's
Hmm.
just the 7 here. So odd. You've got that beautiful shape, and you're stuck on was essentially a 2-out Tonki. But there's of course plenty of opportunity to upgrade this, and you don't even need to call this. Would you dare wait on Peitanki? No. You're losing the value of Tanyao there. And so decides to hang on a little bit longer. 1 mon. Not quite what you're looking for. We wait one more turn. And now the 8-9 pin comes out of Jonathan's hand. So this has a
Yes.
Yamen wait. Interesting. Do you
Still
reach
has that.
this?
Hmm.
That'd be a Suji trap on the 3 soap, but decides against it. And Dora found
10
for
pi.
dealer.
Yes. We are 10 pi waiting on another 4 or the 1.
One's been coming out from the right, so to the players at the
Yeah.
table, it seems fairly safe.
地
Finally, switches Tempai for Bichen, waiting on the 4-7, does not declare reach. There's already Pifu, Tanyao, Dora 1.
He's looking out. He's thinking this cautiously.
ドン
Putting out the 4. Oh.
Does deal into the 3,900 point hand, and well, we move
Brings
to
us
all
to all
last.
last. Still rather close, though. Definitely Simon could come back here with, I don't know, a self-drawn Hanuman? Maybe not
Yeah,
even that much.
you don't even need necessarily the biggest hand to start. As your dealer, you can just go on a bit of a run, and we've got,
That's true. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
potential Itsu in the Manzu. That's like the most optimistic I can and be for this hand. To the I guess we could make Pifu as well, or even 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku. To the right, we've got uh, some reasonable shapes, a lot of pairs, and that makes the hand a bit awkward. We'll see if this becomes Tanya or how it develops in the future. Across, there's well, four of the nine pin.
Yeah,
Will we
I think
see an
he might
uncon?
be. I think he's going to be. Well, I would say he's going to wait on the 8 to make keep a pawn of nines and the 7 8 9, but he's also got that 6 there, so
I mean, we're Ishan
might
10.
be. Yeah. Huh.
The 9 can't really be used at this point, so it's a matter of, do you want to con into potential Tenpai, or do you want to wait for Tenpai and potentially con for Rinshan?
Yes, pick up
Or
one extra Han.
there is also the option of just not calling the con at all, although I think if you're Tenpai and you get, first Tenpai, you might want to
He's
take
going to
that
have
chance
to.
to increase the value.
Right.
As it is, there's no other value other than reach. So
Hmm.
Tenpai now, we'll see.
カン
Con,
リー
Calls
チ
the con, and there's Ricci. He called it. He called it for the Tenpai and lucked out there with
yeah,
that draw.
drew the two
Interesting.
mon, declared con. Now we have a 5-8 pin weight. And unfortunately for Simon as dealer, difficult to push. I mean, you're Ishan 10,
Hmm.
but that choke point is on the 3 mon, and that's so hard to fill.
Edge
And
weights are difficult here.
pushing the half Suji, it's not really a Suji tile, but I mean, it's a signal that Simon is going to fight, especially in fourth place.
リーチ
Well, Tenpai found,
And there we
waiting for
go.
that penchon, and 3 mon is Suji.
He's going all. He's going all in
相撲
on this
Oh,
now.
but
Oh, but
sumo
there's
found.
sumo.
Let's see if it's enough. Reach the sumo, and the Dora.
No Uradora,
Luna,
but
that's good.
that's enough.
That's enough.
He's got it.
Revealing that
That's
too,
the
so as
game.
Dora from the con push that, and the con itself with the Fu push that to Mangan. So Eric
And the
taking
champ.
first place.
The champ starts out ahead.
Plus 24 is a great start. Bichan
Mm-hmm.
plus 9. Jonathan, our stand in negative 7.4, very respectable.
Mm-hmm.
And Simon, fourth place here, negative 27. Of course, there's 3 more games to take place, so
Yeah.
plenty of opportunity to come back from that little slow start.
So this was a little bit more of a reserved game, I would say. Not as big hands dropping around. So
Well,
looks like
we
these will. Sorry, go on.
well, we didn't see the 70,000 score line that we saw from our first
Oh
broadcast here.
yeah. To compare it, of course, would be folly. But yeah, that was yeah, it looks like these four will kind of stay in around the middle of the rankings. And it looks like those rankings are upgrading right now um, as the screen loads up here.
It looks like they'll have started their second game.
Hmm.
Are we going to stay at
There's
this
the
table?
scores on your screen now. Yeah, so it looks like yes, they will be playing another game. I would imagine.
Yeah, most of the divisions, most of the scheduled matches are done in sets of 2.
Yes. So we should be seeing them come back pretty soon here.
All right. Well, it looks like
Um,
they'll start in a couple minutes then.
all right. So, so having seen that one match now, what are you looking for as we head into the next round here, the next Hanchan?
Well, more of the same, actually. I mean, I feel like the players at this table, at least the players that we're familiar with, play a very consistent game plan. Eric and Beechen in particular, um, they picked their moments to fight, and usually they won in those moments. Even when Beechen was down a little bit at the beginning of the game, um, you never really felt like they were down and out. You felt like it was just a matter of time before they would uh, pull in a hand, and that's exactly what he did, uh, coming into second place and finishing second place overall after even grabbing the lead at one point. And so
Hmm.
I imagine we'll see some more of that, steady, consistent, efficient play from all the players at this table. I don't think any of the players are too concerned about going crazy to try to make up lost points. It is just the first week. It is just the
Is
first game.
true.
There
But
is
then these are in the same pool with someone like Arthur, who
that's
is 60 points ahead already in less than a first game.
that's very true. So
So you've got that looming over your head.
you don't want to be too casual with the games, but
That's
no
right.
cause for concern just yet. And looks like we're
Absolutely. Yeah.
getting into game number two. Jonathan, first dealer, starting with a pair of Eastwind. Well, lots of Sozu tiles and disconnected tiles in the other suits. So we might start to see some of those stragglers discarded. And
Looking like dealers possibly looking into a flush of some sorts.
yeah, with that 6 mon discard, looks like it
Maybe
might
not.
become more of a
Yeah,
normal hand.
that's what
Well,
I'm.
on the right, though, we've got great shapes already completed set in the Pinzu. And
Across we have a Yaku already with the greens, and Yaku now for the left as well.
yeah, June call. So speeding up the hands, Ishan 10 on the left, one call away from Tempai.
Wow, already.
And
T.
dealer is one who's still struggling a bit. You can upgrade a little bit. So this is a 4-5, a nice 4-5 shape. Chooses to discard the 1-3 so, hoping that with the two early 2 mons discarded, that nobody really wants to
T.
keep a 1 mon, and that you might be able to call that, and you'd be right. Uh-oh. Well,
Dom.
Oh,
Eric called into Tempai
wow.
just before his winning tile was drawn, and so a fast 2600 from
Hmm.
Eric.
Probably wasn't thinking it was quite that dangerous yet.
Yeah, well,
But
who
that's
would
how it
expect
goes
that
sometimes.
early?
Yeah.
Well, we've got another dealership now for Simon, who has got some great shapes. Anko already in the Manzu, the 5 so, has a Dora 1 so, and can incorporate that in the hand. This could come together kind of nicely. Looks like it's just gonna be reached though. And to the right, we've got beautiful shapes. Look at that Manzu 6788
Yes.
completed set in the Pinzu.
Good
Two,
stuff
three, three,
happening
four.
across as well. Take a look
Oh
at that hand
wow.
across. We already have a Yaku and also Anko of the Nine Mons as well.
Yeah, so this hand is getting really close to Tempai and can
Really good
incorporate the
shapes.
Doro. And I guess the hand on the left isn't terrible either. You can make Ipeco there, so maybe a Pinfu hand in construction. And our dealer decides the 1 so doesn't quite fit the hand, so discards Dora. And of
Hmm.
course, when you're Ishan 10, you start to those
Each.
straggling tiles filter out of the hand. Well, Tempai already for Eric, another fast hand.
Wow. All
Declares reach
happening before the first third.
exactly a 3-sided weight. 5 mon, 8 mon, 8 so for Richie Tanyao. And Jonathan on the left has completed the Ipeco is Ishan 10, but it's you you don't have any,
T.
clear indication of what's safe. And maybe for that reason calls into Tempai and says, well, I can't really play defense. I might as well take Tempai and try to
Each.
just outspeed this hand. In the
Hmm.
meantime,
Dom.
dealer
You
declares
go.
reach and Eric
Oh,
immediately draws.
E-Pots.
Richi Ipatsu no Ura. But
But that's
still,
okay. Gives him the lead and stays dealer.
yeah, and this is not bad either. You can potentially build 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku here. You've got a pair of birds, okay? Maybe a standard Pinfu hand here with Dora. To the right, oh my goodness, there's another potential
Wow.
Sanshoku, either 6, 7, 8 or 7, 8, 9. Looks like it'll be 6, 7, 8. Basically confirmed at this point. And you have the Hatsu, so this is Isha-ten. Eric is so fast in
Already.
these early
Wow.
hands. Well, across the way, we see
Home.
Bishan with not quite as speedy of a hand, and now decision for
Hmm.
Eric. Chooses the six
He
nine
just
pin
calls
weight.
the. Yeah, Eric just calls the Hatsu there.
That's actually really interesting. Being Ishan 10, you didn't necessarily have to call so early. It does reduce the value
Yeah.
of your Sanshoku. And here,
Hmm.
You don't really want the 6 to win on the 6 pin. You want the 9 pin to confirm the 6, 7, 8 shapes. It'll be interesting to see if this 9 pin comes out, and it
Dong.
And there it
does.
is.
Takuma hit
John
discard for
Shoku with
Eric.
pulls him ahead a bit.
Yeah,
Now he's dealer.
we've seen that all
Already
night
picking
long.
up
You win a hand, you become dealer.
mm-hmm,
And,
a
well,
consistent rhythm.
another fast start. Look at this.
Yes, already got Anko of the ones, and waiting on some shapes, some pairs going on there too. Hand's pretty much set, just needs a few crucial tiles.
Well, there's one of them. Now Ishan 10.
Yes. Wow.
To the right, Bichen has pairs, but otherwise awkward shapes, and definitely not the speed that Eric's had. Found
Each.
Tempai! How is this
Oh,
even
already
possible?
fourth drop. Wow.
Have we seen a first row reach from Eric every single hand of this game so far? I believe we have, and
Just about, yeah.
the ideal draw too, because you get that 4-7 Yanmen weight.
Mm-hmm.
And we
And the
see,
seven's looking droppable over on the right.
yeah, and on the right though, well,
Oh, not maybe not now.
the hand is so far away, you feel like you're just kind of playing defense at this point.
That's true.
And well, two fours left, two sevens left in the wall, so definitely drawable for
Mm,
Eric. Would be Nichi
Monk.
Sumo Dora,
yeah.
and there's enough food to push this over the mark. Call from Jonathan, who it's been really interesting to watch Jonathan play, has shown the willingness to call against reach. And it looks like he's trying to make Tanya out here with two Doras. That does kind of make sense. Perhaps you suspect with such an early reach that the weight maybe isn't that good. And now you
Mm-hmm.
can discard 3 pin, 5 pin, and have two good shapes. And so Jonathan might be able to fight this.
Picking up
Oh,
another Anko over on the left.
and well, you can call for Tempai here. This 8-1 chooses not to because the 6 is Dora, and you don't want to discard that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to discard really the 4 either. We haven't seen much in the way of Sozu yet being
There is the
discarded.
four, incidentally enough.
For
Sumo.
Mon,
Oh, and
found
picks
it.
up the Zumo.
Well, let's check Ura.
And gets
Ura-san!
three.
Oh my goodness, for Eric. So this is 18,000 points, 6,000 all. And Eric with a commanding lead in
Wow.
East 3. We can't have another fast hand, right? Surely it has to end.
Well, it looks like he is going to be slowed down a little bit, drawing a lot of different honors at the start. But
A respite for the other players at this table.
mm-hmm.
Give us a
It could
chance, they're
still,
saying.
yeah, it could still turn into something big though.
That doesn't look like
And
anybody here has got a particularly fast hand. On the right, we've got, oh, we're starting to draw into some pairs here, although there are some reasonable shapes. Across the way, there's a Dora tile, but some Yamen shapes, but not much else. Probably hoping to build a Pihu for Jonathan. And on the left, well, this looks like it's going to have to be reach because, well, you've got a Dora, but Kanchan, Kanchan, Penchan, Kanchan is not good shapes.
yeah, that's just a lot of different things happening in that hand. And yeah, he can make something work out of it.
Yeah, I mean, the dealer might end up
Try.
coming out with another fast hand if he can
Oh,
keep drawing
man.
these Tanya tiles.
Again, he's got the gift of progress here.
Hmm.
Just progressing out of what was a difficult starting point.
Yeah, nobody else really you can charge it. This 5 pin is a great upgrade. Now you can accept the 3 pin and the 6 pin. There's even a world where you could be thinking about, well, it's a distant world, but you could be thinking about even building a 3-4-5 Sanshoku. Tanya
Could
seems
be.
more likely, or even just reach, though. Oh, well, that's
He's putting
interesting.
down the three instead of that one, so Tanya's not on his radar right now.
Well, you
Well, they're
notice two of the
well,
fours have been discarded, so maybe not thinking that the 3-4-5 is likely, especially that you can use the fives as a
Chi.
pair here.
this is true. Speaking of
And
the 3-4-5, Simon picks it up.
oh, well, there's a forward run, but you can't be too upset about that as Eric because you're waiting on just pick up a 147 and then another 147 in the Sozu, and you've got Tepai. You make
Absolutely.
Ipeko and Tanya potentially. Now that Chi on the left looks like a push for Tanya with Adora, which is totally
Mhm.
respectable from Simon's perspective. 2,000 points is enough to push you over 30,000 points into a positive finish. Of course, we're still early,
Mhm. It is just
and
East 3.
so still plenty of action to happen. Well, dealer picks up a 7 so this is one step closer to Tempai. Increases the chances at getting Tanya, especially because the one so has been cut 3 times, and the last one is in Beechen's hand. It
Mhm.
looks like a fairly safe tile, except for the dealer hand,
C.
who hasn't discarded any of those Sozu yet.
Mhm.
And now second
Hanging
call.
on to an East as well. There's only one East on the board, though.
Well, one just comes out,
Oh, yep.
and we have Tempai
Speak of the devil.
on the left, 3/6 so.
Right. 3-6.
Home.
Tanya Dora as expected, and it comes
Dome.
out.
There's the 3.
Comes out as we find Ishan 10 for Jonathan. Deals in. We move forward.
And an interesting hand for the dealer here. A lot of different honors once again.
Yeah, you see that hesitation at the start.
Mhm.
Usually, there's a pretty clear indication of where you want to go with the hand. Not so much this time. We're only an east round, so south isn't Yakuhai, but south is Dora. So you want to try to make a hand with it.
Mhm.
Perhaps
Interesting
was
dilemma.
thinking about the possibility of making Chanta and whether you should think about calling for that. Decides
Mhm.
against it with the early 1 mon discard and does not call the first south that was discarded. So it's going to build a normal hand and
Interesting.
is rewarded with some good Manzu draws.
Mhm.
The right, well, we're getting some pairs, huh? And look at the type of pairs we've got. Pair of 2 mon, pair of 2 pin, pair of 2 so.
Mhm.
Sanchoku
And pair
Doko
of
is not a
passes.
very common hand, but if you can get a set of all three of the same tile in all three suits, that's 2 Han, and I'd love to see it. I don't know if we've gotten a Sanchoku Doko in this league yet. As it is, we have 5 pairs now, so it's looking more like a Chitoy hand.
Mhm.
His hand across the way. We're getting close to Tempai.
Yeah. It's like just a standard reach hand, I would
Yeah, that's
surmise.
definitely what it looks like. The
Similar
left.
things happening over on the left.
hmm
But I might be looking at a Tanya.
Yeah, you can even,
I,
if you
yeah.
draw the 7 mon, that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
And
So keeping his
look,
options open by hanging on to the 4.
yeah, you can draw down the 5 or the 7. That 4-6-8 shape when tiles are separated by 2 is really efficient. Well, has the dealer's hand progressed at all? A little bit. We've completed one of the Manzu shapes.
Mm-hmm.
Now Dian Shanten, 2 tiles away. Oh my goodness, there's a third
Ooh.
Dora. Well, that helps a lot.
Oh,
So
yeah, he's going to hang on to that.
previously you were thinking about filling in that 5-7 Manzu shape, but now you just need to pair up
And he gets
anything,
another, yeah.
ideally one of the Manzu
Each.
tiles. Oh, but Tempai found. It's Simon who declares reach, reach Pifu. He did find Pifu.
And he's on
リーチ
the looking at 2 or 5 and
Bijan
chasing
chases.
after him, putting the Dora down
Yeah, that Anko,
for a
with that
9
Anko
and
in
a
hand, you
6.
feel it's safe. Oh,
Right.
this weight isn't good though. It looks good. It's a Yaman 6-9, but on the board we
ツモ
see
Oh,
5
but he
tile
gets it
clicks
anyway.
with Ipatsu. So this is gonna be
Wow.
Haneman with only one Uradora.
6,000 all and puts him in striking distance of the lead. And look at
Eric,
this hand starting off. Lots of dragons.
yeah, you can.
And
Now you're starting to build some pairs too. Eric
yeah, pairs
had won
coming
a
quickly.
Haneman, but now it's Bichen's turn, and we're really close.
Yeah, it's down to
ポン
Eric and Beechin.
Call is made, and so this is gonna be a faster hand, and the value's not really there. So you just want to win and continue your dealership, continue that run
Just
to
keep the foot on the gas.
the right. This is nice for Tanyao. Pinfu potentially as well. And
Going up
across.
across. Yeah, we're seeing some good Pinzu shapes there, Manzus as well.
Yeah, I absolutely love these shapes. With only
Yeah.
3 discards in, you're extremely happy. Now, here's a good, interesting choice. Do you discard the 7-9 and lock in the 8 pair? Does do so. Like this play.
Mm-hmm. Left's coming together pretty nicely too. We already got a Anko of 2 Mon, the sequence of 1, 2, 3 Sozu, even 7, 8, 9 with an extra 8 in there that he's going to get rid of and really move that up. But Dealer takes
Eat.
it, and Dealer's looking like Honitsu now.
Yeah,
Chi.
but still far away with this
I
early
know.
reach from Jonathan. This is Richie Pinfu waiting on the 1-4 in the Sozu. So actually, Beechin could push his hand. It doesn't know it
Mm.
100%. And now that was called by Simon, uh, Jonathan's Ricci discard. So Simon now Tempai as well for just Tanyao. I know Simon wanted a little bit more out of this, but with 2 Dora, that's totally fine. Tanyao Dora 2.
Picks up another 2. Is he going to call the con? Don't really think he'd need to.
Kang.
He
Does
does.
so.
That adds another door to his hand.
Yeah,
Not
and
one
that,
he's likely to keep, but
well, you can build around
he
that. If you draw
could.
the 7 or the 9, then you can declare reach.
It is
Don't.
still
Discards
concealed,
it.
but he drops the 8 and 3 Dora
Yeah,
across
that
the table.
new Dora 8 deals into Tanya.
That
That Tanya hand didn't look like the expensive one, but that actually turned out to be quite a big
mm-hmm.
blow to
It
Eric.
was thanks to that con. And we're into South 1 now. Jeremy. Sorry, not Jeremy.
Jonathan.
Jonathan. Jonathan, looking to come back here as dealer.
Home.
He's gonna pick up those whites. And looks like he's gonna go for a quicker hand here, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
He could get some
definitely.
value out of this too. It's not over. He could get some value.
You could squeeze in a Honitsu here if
Yeah.
the right balls come your way. The problem is you're probably going to get Tempai before you have gotten rid of everything else. So
Mm-hmm.
on the right, the hand doesn't look quite as fast. You could have potential Itsu and the Sozu suit. Unfortunately, you're missing 3 tiles that are really hard to get. The Penchon 3 so and the Penchon 7 so is pretty awkward. But you do have a Dora. Across the way, this hand is Ishan 10 now.
Wow.
Not the value's not
Well,
there.
not quite.
Yeah, you have to pull the 4 pin here, and then you'll have a 2-5 Mon weight. If you get the 2-5 right away, you might not declare reach in
Mm-hmm.
the hopes of improving your weight or drawing a Dora. And on the
Door on the
left,
left.
yeah, well, it's getting
Eat.
there.
There's some,
Oh,
yes, it's coming together. We have Ricci called.
the perfect draw. He did get the 4 pin.
Hmm.
So
Couldn't have
reach
planned that
Pinfu.
any better. 5 or 2 is the weight tiles here. 5s are in the hand. Two twos on the table already, and the rest is up in the wall. So definitely a lot that can happen with that. There's the 5. We're gonna keep it, of course.
Yeah, this hand for Beechin is kind of far away, so I imagine we're playing a little bit safe for now.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to build into some pairs though, and you know when you're playing
Yeah,
defense, you can sometimes back your way into a 7 pairs hand.
yeah, yeah. It looks like that'll work nicely for him. There's a
And
pair here for. Oh,
yeah, Jonathan, 2 tiles away from Tempai, but
Chi.
you've got a lot of dangerous discards. The
mm,
Sozu seemed fairly safe. A lot of Sozu have come out so far. When
he has locked those up though.
for the 4 pin feels like a bad
Sumo.
discard, but
There's the 5. Come
doesn't have to worry
on.
about defending anymore. That's so finds an Uda for 5,200 plus his reach stick. So
From
pulling
the
back some of
champ.
the points that were lost in that last hand for
Mm-hmm.
Eric.
Sadly, that's the last dealer turn for him. Look at the dealer hand here, though. You've got a 1, 2, 3, so waiting there. I'm smelling a Chanta here.
Yeah, this looks kind of like Shanta. What normally makes this hand awkward is that 3-4 shape because it's very efficient to keep that
Right.
4 mon, which would not fit an outside hand. You
Oh, and he's
how
picking up a 5. So,
the on the bright side though, if you do pick up the
ポン
1 mon, that's door, and you do want to incorporate that into your hand. So you might see the 4 mon come out if that was the case.
on the
However,
right, yeah, calling the whites over there on the right. Sorry, what were you saying?
well, I was just going to say that there's a
Okay.
right, call on the right, and
スモ
it's found
Oh,
already.
wow.
Well, Eric has remembered how to build fast hands again, apparently, which
Very
spells trouble
fast.
for the rest of the table.
That sends the game perilously close to the end here.
Yeah, South 3 already. Eric could go on another run. This is not a bad start. We've got a pair of Hatsu in hand, some more pairs sprinkled about the rest of the hand, so we could perhaps call and make a fast one here. To the right, well, I'm liking the Sozu shape and the Manzu shape, and well, this could be your standard Ricci Tanya or Ricci Pinfu, perhaps. That's a great pick up the 5
ポン
pin. Now you really thinking Pinfu here.
Mm. Dealer
Eric
picks up
does.
the Hatsu.
Mhm.
He's got a hand that the hand is forming there.
Yeah, across the way, those are some good shapes. We are technically Ishan 10, but the 8 pin is the weak spot here. And there's only one Dora in hand. Well,
Hmm.
interesting choice not choosing the 779 shape, hanging on to that Tuso because he sees the potential for an Itsu in the Sozu here.
Yes, and there's another step towards that.
Well, do you take the Tenpai or do you shoot for a little more value? Wants the
Hmm.
value and discards the 7 pair. That's an interesting choice. We'll see if
Hmm.
maybe that
I
Itsu
mean,
can come together.
I think at this point he's got to go for value. It's do or die time, really.
Hmm.
For
Yeah, I was thinking we'd see the 7-9 come up. But on the left, we've got Simon now, who is also Ishan 10. Again, that Kanchan 2-4 shape is awkward, but there's a chance for Pifu if he does what Eric did and draw the perfect tile. Just Pifu, though, or just reach only, depending on what gets drawn.
リー
Well,
チ
there's
there
the
it
3
is.
and Ricci waiting on the 1 or the 4 now. Um, one's a 1-1 in hand, two fours in hand, the rest in the wall.
Wow, that's exceedingly good
That's
chances for Tsumo.
very confident reach. 35 tiles left. Very good chance one of those comes out. There's the
Here's the
4.
first.
Speaking of, he's got to hang on to that.
Yeah, Eric immediately discarded the two, so wants to have nothing to do with his reach. And it
Mhm.
looks like to the right, Bishan is also bailing a little bit on this hand. So it might come down to Jonathan as the only chance to fight here. Awkwardly, Jonathan has paired up the 7s again, and if he finds himself in Itsu Tempai, we'll have to discard the 4. Oh no, we might see it.
リーチ
Oh, he's
We
going to call
do.
reach,
ドン
but drop it. And
No would have found, so not that big of a punish. Jonathan did a
uh,
good job hanging on to that for as long as
mhm,
possible. When you got that value,
absolutely.
that tempai for Sancho Kudora, you have to take it. I feel in fourth place. So fair
Mhm.
play.
And luckily, it
Sometimes,
wasn't that much of a punishment, as you said. The
yeah,
bigger punishment is just that the game moves on, and that's
that's
one less
true.
chance to strike back.
Yeah, here we are in all last, and Beechan's last chance to take first within striking distance for sure. Although starting hand use a little bit of work. There is the chance to incorporate the
Hmm.
Dora 9, so
And he is finishing this out as dealer, so he has the benefit of extra hands if he can pull it off.
yeah, to the right, we've got Ipego chance in the Manzu. That's nice. And some decent shapes elsewhere. So 2 tiles away from Tempai. It is awkward to see the 7-8-9 discarded, but you can't know what you're going to
Mm,
draw. And that
exactly.
Orso is a beautiful pickup.
That's just how the game is sometimes.
Well,
The
Ishan
wall
10 now
giveth
on the
away.
right.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And across,
On the,
Simon's got all of those Manzu.
very nice. On the left, we're seeing some pairs spring up there. Actually, I'm seeing more on the Pinzu shapes. Looks like to go for that instead. Oh, and definitely picking up another sequence there for the Sozu.
Yeah, we could see Tanya being built here.
Mhm.
And
And that's all he'd need. He's in the lead.
yeah, Tanya to end it would be
But
exactly
also
what the Dr. Orange.
playing it concealed though, which, he hasn't had to call anything. Doesn't look like he will need to call. At least not much.
Yeah, Taylor's hand is progressing too, though. Two tiles away from Tempai, so we could have a fight. When this happens,
リーチ
a lot of times everyone gets Tempai at once. And, well, here's a Tempai for Simon. Ricci
Mm.
only waiting on the three, so this is not what Beechan wanted to draw, per se.
Interesting reach here.
Well, you know what? It's
He's looking at some possible Urador potential, since he has the pair, he's got two good Ankos in there as well.
and doesn't necessarily need all the points. Just winning 1,000
Hmm.
points is enough. Well, 1,300 in this
That's right, he is above the
case.
300,000, so it is um, it would be
It would
just
put
about
him.
positive for
It
him. It
would
would
put
put
him
him in
ahead of.
positive territory.
Yeah, it would
He'd
put him
get a
ahead of
second.
Beechen. That's the important
That's
thing. It
true.
would put him in
Yes,
second.
yes.
And well, Beechen's not out of this. Look at this draw. Now you're starting to put some pairs
Hmm.
together. One, two, three, four, five of them. You're one
Easy
tile away from
content for
Tempai.
that. Yeah.
And of course, Eric has been playing very
There's another
defensively.
pair. Is he going to call reach on this? Doesn't need to.
Yeah, Dama for now.
カン
Oh, a Khan.
On.
Maybe that encourages a reach, especially
Ooh,
with the four coming out. Now you've got a Suji weight. And
wow.
seven drawn by Eric. That Khan has revealed two Dora for our dealer.
Hmm.
So this is not just Chichoy, this is Chichoy Dora 2, which would be
Yeah,
9,600.
which is great, but we have 5 tiles to go.
Only one 7 left in the wall. This is trouble, though, for Simon. He can't use that. Eric making sure to play it cautiously as possible. 7 pin is the choice.
I'd say white is, ooh.
Only once out, but you
He's
push
going to
it.
go for it, and it's safe.
Good shot by Beachan, finding the way back into Tempai, not giving up.
Hmm.
Allows him to maintain second with
And come closer to first.
yeah,
Big
that's a
time.
3,000 point net gain
He's
on
only
first.
about 4,000 away.
And with the Rishi stick and the Homba, that's a little bit less.
That's going to get him up there easily.
Yeah, exactly
He's got
3,000
a
points.
fairly decent hand to do that with here. Good shape with the Manzus. Got
That
some
three,
gaps and edges on the Pinzu.
yeah, the three so was a good pickup though. Upgrade the shape
Hmm,
in the
that's
Sozu.
true.
And
Yeah.
on the right, I mean, there's a tune pair, and unfortunately, not much else.
Some neat stuff happening across with the Norths and some pairs going on.
Yeah, that's great. And five so is a great pickup as well. That's two
Hmm.
Dora five mon, and so this hand definitely has the value to
Hmm.
overtake even first.
Yeah. But Eric's got a pretty strong hand to finish this off with, too.
Oh my
That's getting close.
goodness. Already five pairs, including an Anko. And we saw some interesting play in our earlier match where I believe it was Arthur chose to not keep the Anko, instead, keep the widest weight possible for uh, 7 pairs. And Eric's thinking bigger dreams. He wants
Hmm.
potentially make Toy Toy or even Suhanko.
Hope he
And
was watching
perhaps
that.
yeah, perhaps what plays a little bit into that is the fact that some of his pairs are the one mon, one pin tiles that are generally easier to call.
Hmm.
And also keeping the Anko, you have the opportunity to make more of a normal hand, which is
Hmm.
exactly what seems to be coming to play here. You can draw the 5 so and have Ipeko as well as um, Ipeko Tempai.
Dealer, meanwhile, is making some progress. Has the Anko of 6 now, the 6 Pinzu.
Yeah, that was an opportunity call for Eric when the 4 so came out. Decided against it,
Oh, yes.
building that closed hand. And across for Simon's hand has discarded one of the Dora fives, but now has a 3, 4, 5 Sanshoku chance.
Mm.
And if you
Well, look at
call
what the right just picked up another pair of dragons there.
Tenpai,
It is 10. Oh, that is. Oh, yeah.
no reach because you are Ishaten for Suhanko.
Oh man, he
Are there
is.
are there
Is he?
chances that it's awkward because two of the one mon have been discarded, so
Oh.
you're not gonna that has to be your pair. One of the fours is
Hmm.
gone. One of the threes is in hand. Oh no, the fours are gone too. He doesn't know it that he can't make it, but
Oh, but that's
he's
what
not
he's
out.
definitely. Hmm.
You could win on the five. You can win on the five, and
Could.
that'd be totally
Yes.
acceptable. You also don't have to put yourself in risk, in
相撲
any danger. And my goodness, there it is,
There it is.
confirming first place again for Eric. That's the second first place.
Hmm.
2 games, 2 firsts.
Wow.
So Eric
Camper's showing
finishing.
he's ready to take it again.
We have almost exactly the same positioning in the last game. Eric first with plus 29, Bishan second with plus 9.7. Uh, in
Hmm.
this
Well,
case,
it's more positive this time, whereas last time
yeah,
it was more negative. But people making up some points from last time. Uh,
Simon
yeah.
with a good finish now, plus 3.4, and
Hmm.
Jonathan in fourth, negative 42. Well, got a little bit unlucky, I felt that game, but that happens sometimes. And well,
Hmm.
it certainly was a well played game.
Oh yeah, it's very well played games from everybody tonight. I mean, this was definitely great primetime action here, and it is just beginning, ladies and gentlemen. This is only week one of season one of the ARML. So you definitely want to follow us right now. Hit that follow button, little heart there underneath your screen, and stay tuned for the action. Not just happening in A1, but we've got some young guns. Well, young guns, I mean that metaphorically. New people coming into B2. Um, Maybe they're young. I don't know, but they're coming in. We have new people coming into the B2 league as well, and they're seeking to work their way up to the matches you're seeing right now. So definitely action happening all over this league. You're seeing the standings right now. Again, things just getting started, um, but already very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah, can't wait to move into week 2 and move forward with the league, see how these standings develop. And definitely, for those of you who are members of the league, keep stay tuned in. We are broadcasting matches from all the various leagues, divisions in the league, and so there's a reasonably good chance that you'll find yourself in a broadcast in the future.
Absolutely. And when that happens, we'll be happy to call it. But for now, for me, Blaine Singletary and Nathaniel Krasinski, and also special thanks to Joshua for helping us stream through this tonight. We bid you good night and hope to see you again soon.